Capitol sure is quiet here in the August heat, but voters will soon decide who will occupy the governor's office behind me, along with who will lead several statewide offices, and finally, who's going to advance across 15 legislative races right here in the Sooner State.
Those are the choices at stake in Oklahoma's August 25th primary runoff election. A runoff takes place when no candidate wins a majority in the primary. The field is smaller this time, but the stakes are just as high. In some races, the winner will enter November as a clear favorite. In others, the runoff could effectively determine who holds the office. Voters will also decide two state questions. State Question 844 would change how the state reimburses local governments for the manufacturing property tax exemption. State Question 846 would place voter identification requirements in the Oklahoma Constitution. Despite the consequences, runoff elections often draw limited attention and relatively few voters. Oklahoma had more than 2.4 million registered voters at the beginning of this year. Even in major midterm and presidential elections, the state's turnout averaged 46.1% between 2002 and 2024, compared with 52.4% nationally. Participation is typically even lower in primary and runoff elections. That gives every ballot cast on August 25th unusual weight. To help voters understand the choices before them, Oklahoma Decides spoke with candidates in several of the races appearing on the runoff ballot.
Every governor, I'm going to start with this question. Every governor says they want economic growth. But where do you think Oklahoma's next generation of growth will come from, and what should state government do? And then also, maybe more importantly, is not do to help create that growth?
You know, as you and Emily know, I've been on your heart for a long time about education. So it's fundamental to, I mean, let's pretend for a minute we're an out-of-state business looking at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We're last in education. Actually, we went up to 49th.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of the governor. He's awesome. 49th, 48th in healthcare, 46th in mental health. Why would a business come into Oklahoma, right? They got to be related to somebody. So if we get our house together in those three areas, and those will be my first three priorities: education, healthcare, mental health. We got to save rural hospitals. We've got to take care of homelessness. We've got to educate our kids. We do that, then we're attractive and people will want to come into the state. The other thing, and I'm sure you will get to this, is the partnership with the tribes. If we lean into a relationship with the tribes,
Yeah.
There are 38 powerhouses, 3 of which would be Fortune 500 companies if they're publicly traded, 1 Fortune 1000 company. So why we've closed the door? That's sad.
Every governor says that they want economic growth. Where do you think that Oklahoma's next generation of growth will come from? And this is a question I think you'll particularly have opinions on both sides. What should state government do and not do to kind of help create that growth?
Well, there's a lot there.
Yeah.
But I do like talking about my plan to make Oklahoma a no income tax state. So we stop losing big companies like Devon Energy to the no income tax state of Texas. I do like talking about my plan to abolish property taxes for seniors and veterans, because imagine the wave of folks that'll be attracted to Oklahoma by those two fundamental changes. And there's a transformational shift of money coming from the boomers to Generation Xers that could really benefit the state of Oklahoma. And then, of course, we've got to focus on education, and I applaud the state chamber's efforts, this year specifically on getting kids reading at grade level. That's why in my first week in office, I will hire a statewide literacy director, which is what they have in place as a proactive piece of the overall Mississippi model, which, as you know, helped them go from 50th to 1st.
Those issues and candidates are now in the hands of Oklahoma voters. The OK Decides team will track results throughout the night as they come in, and we'll explain the context behind what that means for Oklahoma. Welcome to Election Night Live.
Indeed. Welcome, everyone, to Election Night Live. Welcome inside the studios of the State Chamber as we get you up to speed on yet another important Oklahoma election. We are all over our studios here inside the chamber offices. My name is Brent Skarke. I'm going to be with you all night long. Of course, we have our panel of experts joining us, as always, better known as our GA team, Emily, Dalton, with Keith tonight, and Adam on the big board, Always love to see that. We're going to get you up to speed on some of the big races that are taking place tonight. Of course, this is the primary runoff edition, and there are a lot of statewide races. There are a lot of very important legislative races that we are following closely. Let's give you a little preview of what to expect, and I'm going to get a little nugget of information or two from the experts as we go along. Of course, you saw it in that intro from Luke. Well done, Luke, by the way. You see the governor race is going to be center stage tonight, and that's what all eyes are on. When you look at that Gettner versus Mike Mazzei race, it has been close. Gettner won the runoff, or Gettner won the primary, rather, but so many times we've seen the flip-flop in the runoff, so we are going to be watching that race pretty closely. Let's take a look at some of those other races as well that are going to be coming your way, Scott, as we pull up that full screen of some of the races that are going to be headed your way. Governor getting all the attention in most circles, but you'll also know that we have other races coming your way. Let's take a look at those race matchups that have the pictures, shall we? You'll see that.
Yeah, I was going to say, while Scott's pulling those up, I think we've got a lot of exciting stuff tonight. Going to be different coverage because there's fewer races, but I know Brent and team we're excited. We're having fun.
No
So
doubt.
we'll be
We're gonna have some fun tonight. And I think you bring up a good point, Emily. Fewer races, more chance to talk, more time to kind of get into the nuances of some of these races. Superintendent has gotten really interesting in the last couple of weeks with a lot of debates going on between the two candidates, James Taylor and Robert Franklin. We'll get you up to speed on some of that as the night goes on. Other races that we have our eyes on tonight, Labor Commissioner, of course, Pfeiffer and West. West won the primary. Can Pfeiffer flip those numbers around? Bob Sullivan won the Insurance Commission primary pretty handily, but still has the primary runoff against Marty Quinn. We'll keep you up to speed on numbers there. Other races to keep an eye on as well. The federal races and the legislative races. I'm going to let you guys talk a little bit about some of these important legislative races that we've got our eyes on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for those that are refreshing their elections.ok.gov screen, reminder that Senate District 17 is actually kind of a special election because Shane Jett termed out in the middle of his 4-year term. So actually, Senate District 17 is going to fall at the bottom of the Senate race list tonight on the elections page. So make sure you're noting that. But there's 6 pretty significant Senate races. Kind of kick it to maybe Keith and Dalton to walk us through a few of those.
All right, so as we look over these right now, as they begin to come in, as we expected, Senate District 26, which is Western Oklahoma, Weatherford, Clinton to Kingfisher and Anadarko, just early absentees, separated by 17 votes. In Tulsa, Senator Prieto's seat, District 34, you can see there, just early voting and absentee. Aaron Forrest has a 110 vote lead, so it's 65-35. And so that's just rolled in on the Senate right now, early voting and absentee as they begin to come in across the web here. Dalton, we hit the House real fast.
Yeah, looking at some of the House races, the runoff there in House District 18 in Southeast Oklahoma. Right now, it looks like Pamela Gordon has about a 20 vote lead over the incumbent David Smith, with early and absentee voting coming in. In another Southeast Oklahoma seat down along the Red River, House District 19, Michael Brittingham has 215 votes already with early and absentee coming in. So he has got a 74% of the vote there with early and absentee voting coming in. And then in House District 38, Madison Boley and Daniel Dietering in that runoff. Right now, Madison has about a 70 vote lead with early and absentee coming in. It looks like that's most of the House district races that have early and absentee coming in.
And Dalton, for those on the tuning in, if you haven't looked at our voter guide yet, the gold flags there on a few of those names are endorsed by the State Chamber PAC. So just for those of you that are wondering why they got that special gold
Seal of approval, if you will. Of course, we'll keep you up to speed on these races as we go throughout the night. Also, that voter guide is available online at okstatechamber.com on our website. So many great articles there that you can get more information on some of these races. Of course, there are federal seats up for grabs as well. U.S. Senate, of course, on the Democratic side, we have a runoff. However, on the Republican side, was pretty easy for Kevin Hearn to overtake that race. And then when you go to CD1, we thought we were going to have a runoff. Mark Tedford had beat Jackson Lahmeyer in the primary. However, new allegations against Jackson surfaced right before the primary. They got even worse right after the primary. He has withdrawn for the race, so there will be no race, even though there was scheduled to be one right after the primary. Mark Tedford is your CD1 Republican representative, and that is a little bit of surprise when you first saw the names that were in the race for Mark Tedford to be the Republican coming out of that race.
Well, just so many candidates in that CD1 field at the beginning. I don't think anybody had it on their bingo card that there would not be a runoff for that one. So congratulations to Mark Tedford on that primary win, and now I guess the runoff win, even though there's not an election.
So much money spent as well. A couple state questions that are on the board. Of course, state question 832 during the primary, the petition to raise the state minimum wage was soundly defeated by Oklahoma voters, but there are two on the ballot, and we're going to be following them in this election. Both have their nuances, and they're not the sexiest to talk about, but they're definitely important when it comes to the overall function of both the tax code, but also the ongoing voter controversy that surrounds really the entire nation.
I know a lot of voters went to the polls today wondering what those state questions were, because there weren't a lot of campaigns surrounding them in terms of what they were, what a yes vote, what a no vote meant. So this one will be interesting to see what these results end up with.
No doubt.
Potentially projected to go down is kind of the scoop we were getting before tonight. So we'll see kind of what happens there.
For people watching, Emily, how would you just give me one sentence on these two state questions?
I can't do anything in one sentence, Brent, but I will.
Oh, I am well aware of that. But yeah.
State question 844 is changing a tax benefit that goes to manufacturers on property taxes, an exemption they get. State will now be able to kind of step into the reimbursement process to determine that reimbursement. My English teachers throughout life would be very disappointed. That was a run-on sentence. State question 846 is putting what is already in law right now, requiring voter IDs when you go to vote, putting it in the Constitution. So it'd be a lot harder to tinker with there in the Constitution.
Very cool. Appreciate it. And you did not quite one sentence, but we're getting there. We're working on it.
I'll take my notes later.
Hey, Adam's on the big board for us all night tonight, and he has got a kind of a special nuance to this race because we have less races, but we're putting a little bit of a prediction element into the fun tonight. And Adam, I want you to kind of explain what you've got going on behind you right now.
Yeah, thanks, Brent. I think less prediction and more educated guests there probably from some of our experts we brought in. So before this, or late last week, I asked everybody, I said, let's have some fun. We'll check out on this at the end of the night. But I want to see where we are, where you think we're going to be. So the first one, obviously turnout is very key. Turnout is key to the governor's race. I think some people would tell you higher turnout benefits Drummond, lower turnout benefits Mazie. And that trickles all the way down the ballot in these different races for who benefits from what level of turnout. So we asked the team, how much turnout do you think we're going to get? I may need some clarification on Emily here, if that number is total turnout or just Republicans. Myself here, just shy of 300,000 Republicans and a little over 100,000 Democrats. Dalton in that same ballpark with a total number, but lacking a level of detail that gives him deniability when we grade him at the end of the night. And then Keith gave us a percentage, 18%, which I think is probably ballparked on all these, but I'm going to make him do the math on that. And here's what's interesting. We have 15 runoffs tonight in the state legislature. Their conventional wisdom at time would tell you that the person who finishes first may not have the advantage going into the runoff because there's a lot more people that voted for somebody else. how many of those first place vote getters from the June portion of the primary will emerge victorious tonight. We've got some differing opinions here. We've got 8, 7, but Dalton and Keith agree that 11 of the 15 first place vote getters from June are going to end up victorious tonight. So
Copy
that's
each other's homework. Come on.
I know they're passing notes over there in the war room. I don't think we can trust the efficacy of what's going on here for this. So you guys are not
Well,
eligible
use
for
the
the grand
percentage.
prize.
For the record, Dalton just did his like 3 seconds ago.
That's not true. It was last night.
He's got the scoop, so he needed to make sure he had all the information before he turned it in. I can appreciate the hard work and dedication. The other interesting thing here too, and I'm gonna step off right here. I need my cheat sheet to go over this. Oklahoma has 77 counties, as you know. How many counties will the winner of the Republican gubernatorial runoff win tonight? So we've got 53, 55, 51. Dalton down here at 32. I think Dalton's math would say somebody's going to run away with a couple of the big counties and not need some of those smaller counties in rural Oklahoma. So
That's right. A little bit different
I'd
strategy.
love for Dalton to elaborate on that.
Yeah, a little different strategy there. You're exactly right. Take away some of the big population counties, and the other person take more counties.
So on that note, so we do have Attorney General Gentner Drummond, Mike Mazie. They're in the runoff. Those guys won 67 counties between the two of them in June. There are 10 counties, though. Excuse me, that's incorrect. Not 67, but there are 10 counties in which neither of them finished first or second. So those 10 being Beaver, Beckham, Blaine, Custer, Dewey, Garfield, Harper, Major, Roger Mills, and Woodward. Keep an eye on those tonight as places where the two men in the runoff did not finish first or second in June. And so that may yield some interesting results, maybe some places to watch and who could separate in those areas of the state a lot over there, obviously in Western Oklahoma. And then back to the state questions that we were just talking about, interestingly enough here. We're split. Dalton and Emily both think the changes to the tax and manufacturing tax exemption will fail, but the voter ID question will pass. Well, Keith and I both think they're both going to fail. So if both of them pass, nobody's right here. We all sold everybody short, but interesting to see how this breaks out. It seems like there's a lot of consensus, but you can flip the coin on which two of the people agree on something here. So we'll check back in on this at the end of the night and see who's got the closest, the most insight maybe going in, and who was the closest to getting it right.
Very cool, Adam.
I think the voters are activated. I think they're coming out 352. Come on, guys, we got this.
Now, wait, to clarify, that's 352 people voting in the Republican primary runoff.
The instructions on the worksheet I was given did not ask me to delineate between Republicans or Democrats. So I think 352,000 people went to the polls today.
Okay. I was asking our government affairs team to use their best judgment, but I understand, got to ask a full question to get a full answer. That's on me. We'll give you a pass. I'll let you wiggle that number however you want at the end of the night to make it work.
Emily, I also appreciate you adding in the 54 there at the end. You're learning from our EOS meetings to give those numbers at the end as well. So outstanding work. Hey, let's talk about those primaries, because we did mention that you are able to get more information on exactly what happened in those primaries thanks to our voter guide that we put out after every election. And that voter guide's available on our website, but also with QR code that's about to appear on your screen. Emily, I know that you have worked a lot on that result guide, and that's a big part of what we want to talk about next. We got a lot of people to talk about coming up on the show. We want to talk about loans that some of the candidates are getting. We also have a very important guy when it comes to the overall political scene of Oklahoma. So I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, voter guide primary results. If you slept through June 16th, use that QR code to kind of catch up as early votes and absentee votes are coming in. A lot of interesting wins from June that obviously are going to continue to play out here in the primary runoff. But we have our resident numbers nerd, Keith Beal, who's on loan from the Petroleum Alliance tonight. So thanks to our friends at the Petroleum Alliance for letting us have Keith. We're never going to do this show without Keith, by the way. So if Keith is not available, the show will not be produced. So I just want you to be aware. He's going to share some numbers on loans. There are so many candidates that have loaned themselves personal dollars to really push into this race and then to really take it over the top. And so the numbers were kind of eye-popping in the primary. We didn't get to them then. And so Keith's going to kind of go over primary plus runoff numbers. So buckle up, folks. Lots of money.
All right, so I know the governor's race has caught a lot of attention on the loans with Drummond and Mazie. So you can see those on there, you know, around 15 million-ish between the two of them. But total loans for all candidates for every race, over $30.8 million. So I just included a few of these. So I know, like I said, everyone's focused on the governor's race, but we've got some House and Senate ones. We've got House District 38. One of the candidates, Dieterding's up at 75,000 of her own money. We have another one, House District 99, Mr. Brown at over 40,000. Senate District 24, one candidate at 500,000. So between the two of them, 550,000. And then right below that in Senate District 26, Rick Cook, 325,000. So I think that's a lot of money. So you can see all the way basically from $500 up to 9 million. So it's a lot of money that's been loaned out in all these races. So and even the legislative races, 10,000, 75,000, 33,000, 84,000. So
it just shows how expensive these races are getting. I mean, especially as a candidate, you're getting a lower price on some of the vendors that you're interacting with versus maybe a C4, you know, other kind of vehicle. And just to loan yourself 6 figures for a legislative race. I mean, man, they're committed. I'll give them that. They're committed. Adam, thoughts on the numbers?
Yeah.
DeMarco Rubio,
I think I'm live. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to loan yourself. It's a big commitment. It's a big risk these folks are taking. And then a lot of times, I don't think Keith did the math out here. The percentage of personal loan versus money raised and what the personal loan accounts for in the spend in a given race. It's interesting to look at to see how that interacts with what's needed to win and how you communicate that. To your point, Emily, I just think it's something that we as observers keep an eye on, but you start to see really for the viewers what it takes and how much it costs to go into winning a legislative seat. And if you've got to touch a voter contact point X 7 to 10, 11 times, whatever it is, it's extremely expensive to do. And it requires a lot of these folks to put their own money in if they want to do it.
You know, maybe we should do a segment, not tomorrow because we're all going to be tired, but in a couple days on the IE spend for all these people, because we know the reporting's still coming in. And I mean, the dollar, should we have added that to your predictions list, Adam? How much IE money would be spent? Maybe,
yeah. Taking over under on IE money. That again, maybe we'll come up with the total spend between loans and IEs versus dollars raised. How much more the IEs and loans are going to contribute than what's the little fraction of money that is the small limited dollars people raise.
Yeah. I think our guest has joined us. So if someone will let him in from the waiting room, Mr. Pat McFerrin. Hey, Pat. Pat's still burning the midnight oil. He's not even at a party. Oh, but I do see a bottle in the background, so he's celebrating.
You're still muted, buddy.
You're muted.
I'm glad you like my product placement there. So,
I mean, hey, what do we drink? Oh, we're drinking some good stuff. Okay.
No, it's the cheap Irish stuff. It's fatties, but
okay. I didn't know what I was looking at there. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on. I know Sooner Survey put out some results just a few days ago, and so wanted you to kind of give us some thoughts before a lot of the numbers start pumping in, kind of where your thoughts are at tonight before we hear, the final results.
Well, one, I might be a little more bullish on your turnout numbers than what you guys had there. So I predicted around 312,000 Republicans, and so we'll see what happens there. I do think there's a lot of interest there. I think we'll see some people turn out to vote. I expect the Democrat and independent numbers to be quite a bit down, but it's going to be very close. And I know you probably don't want to blow by blow, but I just saw the first election day numbers in for the governor. It's a separation
Tell
of
me.
2 votes. So
2 votes?
yeah, now that's just 1,400 votes in. But Drummond is winning 54% among the absentees and 53% among the early voters. I don't know that they're all in yet, but it's we're at a little over 33,000 of those votes in, and they had 42,000 or 43,000 of those in June. So that's a pretty high percentage of them. So
Pat, on the governor's race, kind of what metric are you watching either in lead up to tonight or tonight, maybe that most of us aren't watching?
I think that the key thing I'm looking at is the metro areas versus the rural areas and what the voter turnout is there.
Okay.
I think that's something we can see tonight. But it'll be fascinating after this is to see how the gender breakdown is, because those are the 2 real divisions we had in this election. We had all the polling showed Drummond generally doing better among women, Mazie among men, Drummond better in the metro areas, Mazie better in the rural. And so we'll see what happens there. What's pretty fascinating is, in Tulsa County last time, Mazie led by 1,417 votes over Drummond. In Oklahoma County was 1,489 the other way. So they kind of counteracted each other. Right now, if you look at the early and absentee in Tulsa, Drummond was doing very well, picked up 500 votes there. So we'll see what happens there with Tulsa County.
Both their home areas, though, up in that northeast part of the state. So we'll see
Yep.
who takes it away.
Yep.
Let's shift gears to the superintendent's race because we've got 2 names on the ballot that maybe we didn't expect tonight. It's attracted a lot of attention, probably not as much money though. Is it attracting attention for the right reasons or the wrong reasons? It's obviously about education.
Well, all publicity is good publicity, I think. So we'll, as long as people are participating, I think I'm pretty pleased with that. And I do think that it caused some education voters that were probably reluctant or not as frequent Republican primary voters to get engaged and involved the way the race turned. I think there were too many candidates for that to happen in June. I think you're going to see quite a few education voters, schools back in session, turn out to vote in this Republican primary than we had before. So I think that's one of the reasons I think the turnout might be a little bit higher.
Yeah. Statewide generally, do lower profile statewide runoffs tend to follow the same voting patterns as the governor's race?
Well, they will in the general election. Obviously, in the primary, it's different. I think one of the things to really watch here is, as we all know, the state Republican Party came out with their slate of candidates, and we'll see if that unifies those folks together or not. Early returns show it's not, but of course, a lot of that happened beforehand. We've got, there's a little bit of there, but Franklin actually has 58% of the vote right now as I'm looking at it. I guess Bob Sullivan's at the same place, but then you've got who those were not endorsed by the party, but you've got Kevin West at 54% who was. So it's a little bit of a difference.
On that note of the party endorsements, we saw some pretty late to the game endorsements not yesterday, maybe the day before, of GOP and Secretary Mullen. Did those play a factor in people rolling out today, or are they just kind of?
Yeah, I wish I knew that. I don't. I will tell you, the last 3 weeks of polling, I had it 44-44, 45-45, 45-45. That was all on Thursday. Last Thursday is the last numbers I had there. So it seemed pretty set and just really about turnout. So I don't know if those endorsements sway anybody or change turnout much.
Yeah. When the dust settles, what will all of us be saying was the deciding factor for these statewide races?
Oh, I think it's all going to be about just turnout. One of the things that was interesting in June, Metro Oklahoma City, Central Oklahoma, Looking back, it had the lowest, if you took about Oklahoma, Canadian, Cleveland counties combined, was the lowest percentage of a Republican primary that I could find over the last, couple of decades. And so if there are larger percentages that turn out here, I think that's something that we'll see pretty dramatic.
Okay. Fill in the blank. This will be your last question. Then I promise we'll let you get back to your patties. The headline I expect to read tomorrow morning is
State Chamber excels. No, just I think it's going to be candidate wins close race for governor. I think it is going to be close throughout the night.
Yeah.
Having the benefit of where things are right now, though the election day numbers coming in do seem to be favoring Mazie just a little bit, but those tend to be the rural counties first, where I expect him to do better. But I think it does look like it could be. It's likely going to be Drummond here.
for viewers at home, maybe like my mom or dad who are watching, hopefully, tell us why there's a delay in some of the numbers that are coming in. Like, this is not all electronic. Can you kind of?
Yeah, I mean, each county is a little bit different, and I think Oklahoma and Tulsa County tend to be the slowest ones coming in. Part of it's because they have so many more precincts, and what happens is those are the precincts. Put the machines in their cars, drive them to the election board. That can take a longer time in Tulsa County or Oklahoma County because of traffic and getting out of neighborhoods where, other counties, might be a shorter drive. Some of these counties, you're only waiting on 6 or 7 people in front of you. You might be waiting on 119 in Oklahoma County. And so that's just about loading those machines and getting them loaded. I'll put in my plug here to better fund Paul Zirax and his system to make these nights quicker nights for us. Well, I'll tell you, I do this all across the country. Oklahoma does a much better job than any other state. Now, I've watched probably election results in 35 to 40 states. Does a better job than anybody else, getting it all reported in a timely manner. There are still a lot of places where you have to call each county election board. There's no group that puts them together. So we always want things to be quicker, but he does a really good job right now.
He does. We are lucky, and we wanted to have him on as a guest tonight, but we weren't even bold enough to be like, "Hey, tune in."
Well, this is what I'll do. My prayer for Paul is always that there's no close elections. That's all election board secretaries want. Nothing close.
Unfortunately for Paul, I don't think that's going to be the case tonight. Thanks for coming on and giving us your thoughts, Pat. We're always grateful for your numbers.
Happy to. Thank you, guys. I've got your show on in the background here as well. So
cool. Enjoy. Have a drink for us.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
A man that knows quite a bit, and he is very seasoned when it comes to the political scene here, Emily. I mean, the information he's giving us right there, especially on the governor's race, is vital. It's been so close. Just for people who aren't familiar, how often does the winner of the primary not win the runoff in some of those kind of situations? Obviously, that happened with Stitt and Mick Cornett in Stitt's first run. I thought that was pretty interesting that we could see the other way because Gettner did win the primary.
I think if you won the primary, it's yours to lose in the runoff. I'll let Adam or Dalton chime in with their perspectives. I don't know that I have a statistic where I know that to be true, but I think it's yours to lose, and that's kind of how probably the campaigns treat it too. You gotta get going, can't rest on your laurels. Plus, with so many candidates in the primary in a variety of these races, you had a lot of voters that you had to go educate to fill them in on your campaign because they were with somebody else. So
no doubt.
Yeah, I think Emily hit the nail on the head there. When you've got some of these races with 5, 6, 8 people running, and then, if we've got a short attention span, as voters do, you got to go reintroduce yourself. You're running a new race again. You may have got a little base to people who remember they voted for you before, but you got to get your message in front of them again. You got to get them out to the polls. You got to get them to tell their friends to vote. And so I think it's a winners to lose, but there are so many people to talk to, so many voters to get right back in front of. There's momentum when it comes from the insiders and fundraising potentially, and who's going to spend money on what from past performance. But you got to go back out there and do it again in a whole new race in a runoff.
No doubt. Well, people are tuning in tonight definitely to see some of the numbers. So let's do our first check of the night when it comes to some of these first results that are in. Once again, in the primary situation, expecting to see some of these races being called earlier than in the past. We're going to start with those statewide. And first off, Governor, I'm going to let Emily take this away because all eyes are on that Republican runoff.
Yeah, Drummond's just got a hair of a lead here, but certainly took the cake on the absentee and early voting in the precincts that are in. Only 161 of the almost 19 or more than 1,900, excuse me, precincts. And so it's neck and neck in terms of election day votes there for Drummond and Mazie, but still Drummond with the lead at 52%. And the shout out to Paul Xerox earlier. This new website that they put out a couple years ago is so much better. We love it. So thanks to Paul and his people over there. Superintendent of Public Instruction, as we were talking about with Pat, Franklin's definitely in the lead here with almost 58%. Not much to add there other than, he's got more turnout showing up there for Franklin. Down to Commissioner. Oh, go ahead.
And he won the primary by 11,000 votes, which, is sizable. It's not a huge landslide, but it's sizable. It looks like those numbers are kind of lining up tonight as he's got a 7,000 and change lead right now with a little over half reporting.
Yeah, no, not half, only 8%. So,
oh, I thought you said 58%. My bad.
Sorry, no, 8%, 8% reporting. So still a long way to go there. Commissioner of Labor, this one's close. 2 House members, obviously. Kevin West is taking the lead, and I think in looking at the map here, it looks like West has a lot more of rural Oklahoma, I think maybe than I expected. Pfeiffer being from Orlando, Oklahoma, thought maybe he would pick up some more seats there, but it's still very early. Kevin West getting a lot of bang for his buck out of Southeast Oklahoma at the moment. So we'll keep eyes on that one. And then Insurance Commissioner, Bob Sullivan has a pretty sizable lead at this point. Again, only 8% in. And it looks like Sullivan's maybe early and absentee voting apparatus maybe is where he's taken the lead in front of Quinn.
No doubt. I've seen a ton of Quinn signs around the Oklahoma City metro area. I know he's done a lot of campaigning late, but Sullivan won by 36,000 votes in the primary. So that was a gargantuan hill to climb for.
Well, and looking at the map here on the elections page, looks like Adair County, there's a tie vote for Bob Sullivan and Marty Quinn at this very, very moment. 2 out of 17 precincts are reporting, and there's 173 votes for each of them. So, you never know. I wonder how often that happens in the night.
Very early, and that's why we're here to keep you up to speed. You want to get to those federal races? You want to go to some of the state Senate and state legislature races?
Let me scroll down to them. Let me find them. I haven't gotten that far.
They're way down there. Yeah, especially that Democratic senator race.
Obviously, just two Democrats, a couple names that are, I think, Mr. Priest has run a couple of times, but it looks like Jasmine Thomas is in the lead there with just over 12,000 votes at 58%. It looks as though she also has a tie county in Lincoln County at this moment. She is carrying quite a bit more of northeastern Oklahoma counties for now, but we're just looking, Tulsa County only has 6 of 251 precincts reporting at this moment. So we're early. Hopefully you're grabbing your beverage of choice and you're buckling up because we'll be here for a couple hours. So that's what I know on statewides and federal races.
Yeah, let's talk some state Senate and the House, of course, very important as well. Let's get Dalton and Adam back in here because that really is what we're trying to focus on tonight is some of those pivotal Senate and House races that could shape the future of both of those bodies moving forward and how votes will shape up when we get back in session. Adam, you want to start with the Senate?
Sure. Why don't you give me the Lawton race, McKenna? Let's talk about that. 32.
Neck and neck there, neck and neck.
I know, it's neck and neck. We were just looking on the election board here right before break kicked it to us, but I want to, talk about this. Obviously, it's occupied the current incumbent still, Dusty Devers, who did not make it into the runoff. So you have Dr. Gene Househair, and Curtis Irwin running here. I think just to remember something that you've got going on is that, like, Dr. Househair's support in the June race was pretty central. And Curtis Irwin kind of on the outside here, outside parts of the district are where his results and his support came from. So that's something to watch for as these results start to come in. I know, Keith, you've got it. You and Dalton have it right in front of you to see if that's replicating tonight, for more the Lawton portion of this district to go for Househair and the more rural part to go for Curtis Irwin. I think that's something I'm watching in the Lawton Senate seat for sure. That is has been of interest to a lot of folks for a long time.
Yeah, we've got the numbers up right now. Right now, there are 2 of 23 precincts reporting in Senate District 32. And so it looks like Curtis Irwin has a narrow lead. He's got 50.4% of the vote. Gene Househair has 49.6. But what's interesting on this race, we're looking at the numbers here. Early and absentee looks to be in, but election day voting, again, this is just with 2 precincts reporting, but 4 total votes cast election day with 2 precincts reporting. That kind of shows you how much turnout influences these races, especially these down ballot races and state Senate, state house races when it comes to turnout.
But more
Absolutely.
votes. Come on, people.
Those 2 precincts a lot are right around the base. So they're I just looked, they're very small on every election. So
Okay.
we should be good. We got Senate District 17 coming in. If you can see there, Justin Wood won absentee. He won early voting, and he's won the 2 precincts. So he's at 66% of the vote coming in right there on those 2 precincts. And then one of the other ones we thought was going to be close was 26. And if you go into the map,
Keith, where are we at there on 26? I know in June we kind of had a divide like this, really, where Weingart won this part of the district and Cook was over here. And you had Brady Butler, obviously the 3rd candidate who ended up endorsing Rick Cook, and then finished second in a lot of places down here in the Rick Cook support areas to the western part of the district. What does that look like tonight?
So I told everyone to watch out for Caddo County in that seat. And in my opinion, if Jessica can win that, because she's going to do really good in Blaine, she's going to do really good in Canadian, and she's doing really well in Kingfisher and absentee. And so Rick's going to probably win Custer where he's from, and it comes down to Caddo County, in my opinion. And Jessica's winning in Caddo County with 4 precincts in, and really, as well as she's running right now in Blaine and Canadian, she might not even need Caddo, but she's ahead by 10 points basically overall. So we'll wait and see. I haven't gotten any text from anybody on that race. So I've gotten text on, we do have text on the Lawton race. We're trying to confirm what we were sent. So we're going to hold off on announcing what we were sent until we confirm it.
Okay.
Raise your hand if you want to do a screen share of Keith's phone on the screen tonight so we can see what all those texts say. No? Okay.
I do. I would love that. I want access to that. I'd love to see what's coming in and out of that mobile device in there in the war room. Let's we want to talk about a couple state house races too. We got some competitive ones over there. Why don't let's start in the Metro. What do you say? House District 81 is a competitive one, formerly occupied by Mike Osborne of the state Senate, or excuse me, the state House. State Representative Mike Osborne retired, leaves us Rusty Raines and Troy
Breaks our heart
Talley.
and leaves us.
Say that again.
He breaks our heart and leaves us.
It hurts. I'm very pained. If you're watching out there, Mike Osborne, we miss you already. But whoever replaces you here, I have faith in the people of Edmond. But it's going to be a close one. Last I checked on the election board, it looked like we were pretty evenly split on the early votes.
2 votes. 2 votes apart. 2 votes.
That's just early and absentee. There's no precincts reporting in that race yet.
I got a lot of activity the last 10 days.
I was gonna say that race really got active. We were talking about some loans and we were talking about some IEs earlier. This race saw a lot of that in the last 2 weeks and getting fired up about, like I said before, basically a whole new election that is this August runoff, what you got to do to get back in front of voters and re-educate and reintroduce yourself to voters. So that one got busy pretty early, one we're going to keep tabs on all night.
Let's go to 91 real quick before I know we're going to pull Luke up here in a minute. Let's go to 91 because, I mean, just the early and absentee, Roberto Seda is in the lead considerably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looks like
that obviously,
a little over 200 votes right now in early and absentee.
No precincts have reported, but yeah, definitely those early numbers.
I also want to note for Emily and I's predictions, state question 844 right now, 73% no, 26% yes, and state question 846, 55% yes, and 44% no. So if that holds out, Emily and I will be, we'll have the correct predictions on those state questions.
Yours is going to a recount because you cheated. You waited last second.
I would like to protest.
yeah, I think, Dalton, there were a couple hanging chads on the ballot you turned in earlier today with your answers. So
Hey,
we might have to file an
leave that up to the producers.
Hey, just real fast so we can geek out on the governor's race real fast. So we
Yeah.
keep track. When we had 78 precincts reporting, Maisie was at 47.65. Now there were 449 precincts.
Mhm.
Maisie's at 48.48. However, I would caution everyone not to get too into it because Oklahoma County and Tulsa County still have a lot of votes.
Yeah.
That's
Oklahoma
the
County's got,
question
like,
I should have asked. What time will we get Tulsa County's full results?
Well,
Let's ask Stan Patton.
Oklahoma County right now
Zoom
is
him in.
Oklahoma County 16 of 290 and Tulsa's 11 of 251. So we'll see what happens. But we'll continue to monitor the difference. Drummond's at 51.52 right now, so we'll continue to monitor that. And I think every county is in with all their early and absentee. Let me check. Yeah, so everybody's absentee vote and early vote is in, so that's final.
Of course, that governor's race has been one that has been all over social media and it has been all over the airwaves as well. A ton of money has been spent by both candidates, especially in the runoff, especially late, and there has been a lot of allegations flying both ways. We have Luke Reynolds for us in that war room, manning the social media feeds, trying to make sure that we're not missing any little nugget that could add a bit of intrigue and interest when it comes to these governor races and really any races. But what do you got for us, Luke?
You know, Brent, that's a great question. And honestly, it's been kind of quiet. I was kind of hoping that we would have some shots fired, if you will, from kind of mocking some of the campaign mailers we saw throughout the campaigns. But it's pretty quiet on social. I will say what's been way more fascinating to watch is the prediction markets coming online in the gubernatorial race. It was looking, Mazie was about 80, 79, 80, and Drummond was at 21. And watching the prediction markets throughout the evening has just been up and down. Right now on Poly Market, Drummond's at 67%, Mazie's at 34.9%. So it's been really interesting to watch some of the alternative platforms for some of the polling, if you will. But that's pretty much what's been going on social. I also just want to point out, really want to thank some folks for joining us. Saw both Representative Brad Bowles and Representative Tammy Townley join us for a little bit. So thank you, folks. Thank you, legislators, for joining us, as well as a few of our board members. So really appreciate the engagement this evening. If you're watching us at any of the watch parties, we hope this information has been useful. So appreciate it.
Good work. Good work. Of course, we are streaming on OK Decide, which is the state chamber's website that keeps you up to speed on all the latest information when it comes to the races. We had a ton of interviews done by myself, Chad Warmington, our CEO, that are posted there as well. Audrey from our staff does a great job manning that streaming feed right now, but also with the interviews that are posted on the website. So go to that website for more information on a lot of those statewide candidates. It's a great resource for you there. And she's manning the stream and making sure that we're giving a little shout out to some of the people that are watching, both our members and the other dignitaries that are watching. We've already, you were showing a picture that they had us on at one of the watch parties there, Luke. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so. I hope we're still on.
Yeah, we better be. Of course, this is a great place for everyone, not just our members, not just legislators, but I know a ton are watching, but to tune in and get some of that information that you're just not going to get on the traditional legacy media, if you will, especially when it comes to the House and Senate races that just don't get the coverage because all eyeballs usually are focused on the governor's race, superintendent's race, and those are important, of course. We've got to get to those. But when it comes to the House and Senate, those are the men and women that really shape the legislation that goes through the House and the rules and the laws that become reality for Oklahomans all over the state. So it has been interesting to see some of these races. And I was looking down the list, especially in the House, there are a lot of leaders, but also big personalities that are going to get replaced. A lot of them have termed out. Chris Kennedy, you've got Brian Hill, you've got Humphrey, you've got LePac. Just a lot of very familiar names for people that have been around the Capitol for a lot of years. And it'll be sad to see some of those go, but it'll also be interesting to see if other big personalities can step in and take over that as we go through the night here in these primaries. I know our entire GA staff working their phones tonight to make sure that we get you the latest information. Also, the most up-to-date information when it comes to some of those polling places. In some ways, it's even faster to go old school and call some of these polling places to get the release right there instead of waiting for the results coming through the election board website, right, Emily?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we're texting. I've got backup batteries on repeat, thanks to my husband for sending them with me. And I don't think we're ready to call it down in 32 yet, but we're getting some pretty good intel that Curtis Irwin has a good lead. There's still a few precincts that are out, but it's looking not a few, maybe two precincts left. So Keith, I don't know if you have anything to back that up.
You guys are muted.
I bet it was good intel though.
I think while they're sorting that out, Dalton might have beat the Associated Press to this, but AP just declared that the changes to the manufacturing ad valorem tax exemption has failed, as I think everybody predicted tonight on our screen. So chalk one up for the Brainiacs here in the studio, but that has been declared failed. So we'll see what next session has in store for that budget item that the legislature has taken very special interest and care into trying to craft a solution.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that's the last we're going to hear of it, especially for our legislator friends that are listening in. I think there was an attempt to try to put some guardrails on it, but I get that there was some confusion at the polls. So maybe we're calling that one as a fail, but expecting it to come back. Keith, do you want to chime in on 32, anything?
Well, I was just going to say one of the House district races that we haven't talked about all is 47, Brian Hill seat. So just that's going to be competitive also. Toby Thompson had just no election day yet, is absentee early voting. I just wanted to put that out there. He's got a pretty sizable lead on that. As we move forward, let's hit a little refresh here.
Hey, Keith, will you take us down to Southeast Oklahoma for a second, down in the far
Just so you
corner?
know,
Chris White, George
Macy's now at
Phipps.
49.07%.
We got a close race down there in that
19
house.
Divorcee, yeah. Let's see.
Well, I think at 19, the one vacated by Humphrey between Brittingham and DeVore. I believe Brittingham has that in hand now. I have not checked.
I would say that's solidly in hand.
What about next door though?
House
In,
District 1.
House District 1, that one's close.
Yes, that is separated by 10 votes right now with 14 precincts reporting. Yeah, it looks like George Phipps is up 10 votes on Chris White.
Yeah, for those of you watching at home, we're talking about Southern LaFleur County and McCurtain County, way down Southeast Oklahoma. This is like Shreveport, Louisiana TV market. That's 4 hours out of Oklahoma City, but say that again.
The tourism capital of Oklahoma. Matt Pinnell
It
would
is.
want you to
That's-
say
yeah.
that.
That's Broken Bow right there. That's it.
If you could draw in the Bigfoot Trail too as well down there for us, that would be very,
Sasquatch.
yes, very important.
He's down there. You just got to go find him, Brent.
Well, the outgoing Humphrey would be very proud that we were talking that on the show. He was a huge fan of course, that initiative. Are we seeing any trends when it comes to the House? We saw some trends with the Senate in the primary as some very important races went the way of some of the more moderate Republicans. Are there anything in races or trends to watch for with all these House primary runoffs? I'll default to probably Adam on this one.
I'm sorry, Brent. I was in some results and reading some text. You asked me the question again here. I'm ready.
Are there any trends or overall arcing themes when we look at the House races this year, specifically the House runoff races tonight, that could dictate some kind of change within the House leadership or House structure?
No, I don't think so. I think you see Speaker Kyle Hilbert and his leadership team, unlike maybe what was in question a few weeks ago in the Senate as we were going through some of these and the stakes were maybe a little higher there in the other chamber in the House. I think things are pretty well set. They're contend we'll do this again in November probably, and we'll talk about whether 81 Republicans will return to their supermajority or not in Oklahoma City for a few races. But I don't think anything in these primaries makes up a ground shift in the makeup of the Republican caucus or the leadership structure there. I think that's going to stay pretty much as it is. It's led by Speaker Hilbert, and the House will stay pretty well the same way we left it in May.
Love it. Love it.
Adam, on that real fast, on House
Keith.
District 18, I'm sorry, Representative David Smith in a runoff, and he is currently behind.
There you go,
That
Keith. Breaking news there. We do have the incumbent to run off who is behind. So I know Dalton was digging into that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I don't have the map pulled up here in front of me, but yeah, it's an interesting race, down there in southeast Oklahoma. I'll pull up the map and look at it.
Well, I was going to say another incumbent with a challenge right now is Senate District 34. Dana Prieto is the incumbent, and he's down pretty considerably to his challenger, Aaron Force. So we'll be continuing to watch that one. That was another member of the Freedom Caucus that had a challenging race, not only in the primary, but also in the runoff.
Yeah, another incumbent that has a race over in the Yukon area, Senate District 18, the incumbent Jack Stewart. Looks like election day votes are finally coming in. Just 2 precincts reporting right now, but it looks like the challenger, Tyler Herring, has a very, very narrow lead. Looks like he's got 12 vote lead right now down there in the Yukon area.
Hey, breaking news to get to real quick. Keith, a lot of people are real worried about what's in that Big Gulp cup. Can you give us an update?
Well, I don't want to dump it out. My wife already texted me and said, "Are you drinking the Dr. Pepper in that Big Gulp cup?" So I said yes. So
I
yes,
can confirm it's a Dr. Pepper, as I'm the one that brought him the full-throated Dr. Pepper.
Very
So
good. Very
we've got
good.
multiple parties involved in this Big Gulp situation.
Oh, full throated. I like
I think
that.
the
Not
most
unleaded,
important
full-throated.
question is, what does Dalton have in this cup right here?
Water.
This is a new great flavor. We're not even sponsored by them. They should sponsor us though. The Melon Melody medley. In Senate District 26 over in Western Oklahoma, Senator Yak leaving that seat after his term limit. Jessica Weingart's up by 700-800 votes, and there's 28 precincts in out of the 46. So she's got a pretty sizable lead. We might be able to get her on the show here before too long. We'll see.
Got big shoes to fill with my cousin Yek terming out.
All that's
over there.
missing in Caddo County is Hinton. Anadarko's in. Jessica won Anadarko, so we're just waiting for Hinton. So she's probably still going to win Caddo County. and there's only 5 precincts in Custer. In one of the counties in Custer, Rick didn't even win. So it's not looking good there for Rick Cook and Jessica. That's a pretty big lead out there in rural western Oklahoma. And yeah, and her numbers in all these other precincts in every other county. I'm not the AP, but I think it's safe to get her on the phone.
Another big lead, Senate District 24, Metro OKC, John Painter's 1,200 point or 1,100 votes ahead of Robert Keyes. And as you remember from Keith's loan slide earlier, Robert Keyes put in a pretty penny into this race for himself. And he also ran 4 years ago and put a pretty penny in, or no, 2 years ago, excuse me, because he was in a different seat, excuse me. Anyways, so Painter's ahead in 24.
I think it's very safe to get Mr. Painter on the phone. So there you go.
Okay, you text Painter and I'll reach out to Jessica.
And whoever's first.
$500,000 spent, and one of the early announced winners by Keith there. That's very telling. And those numbers that Keith flashed up, if you missed it off the top of the broadcast, were just mind-blowing in some situations. The amount of money, of course, that the gubernatorial candidates loaned, in some cases themselves, but $500,000 for a House seat is just numbers that I can't fathom. There you go. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
500,000 for a Senate seat.
For a Senate seat.
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
Senate seat.
Senate seat, but still, I mean, for a
Not saying
legislative seat.
I'm not saying I'm going to drop it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you look at some of these numbers, 325,000 for another Senate seat with Senate District 26. That money is just crazy. And you're also seeing how much it costs to win in some of these races too. It's just a whole different ball game we're playing. And one of the things that struck me too about the runoff, you knew as the governor race continued, they're gonna have to be spending even more money on that runoff, and that gubernatorial election got very, very expensive, very, very quick.
Yeah, one thing, I mean, it costs a lot of money to run for office. I think we know that. Let's go up northeast though, Claremore area. As you mentioned, the governor's race. This district is adjacent to what's become a central figure of the governor's race in the proposed project in Inola, but House District 9 being vacated by term limited Representative Mark LePack. This Crystal Campbell and Scotty Stokes are running for this. They're running pretty close right now. I'll give Dalton Keith a second to get their notes and the results up in the room right there. But we've seen there's about 5 precincts reporting, all sort of in core Claremore here. And so lots outstanding. I guess 9 other precincts in this district outstanding out here. Very close race. If you guys will remember, Crystal Campbell got in the race very, very late. And Scotty Stokes was in very, very early. And so you saw the first one in and the last one in were the 2 who made it into the runoff here. And really the chance, like I said before, I've been saying all night, they're running a whole new election here. So to see how that one turns out and where, if people change their mind or what's going to come of that race, I don't know. Where are we at right now on that, Dalton?
Yeah, Adam, on that House District 9 race, Crystal Campbell is up by just 4 votes right now, and we've got 50% of the precincts reporting 7 out of 14. So yeah, it's very, very tight up there in Claremore. It looks like there's just 1 precinct in Tulsa County that hasn't reported yet in that district, and then the rest of the precincts are in Rogers County. They've got 7 of those precincts reporting, and it looks like it's very tight within 3 votes. So that's going to be a really close race worth watching.
Get the calculators out, boys. The governor's race is down to 165 votes.
We knew it was going to be tight, but that is razor thin, razor thin.
One of the first big precincts in Edmond to come in, Maisie 300, Gittner Drummond 285. So that's one of the first big Edmond precincts to come in. The one just, that's the Oak Tree precinct. So Oak Tree came in 300, 285. So and then out here, what I always call Southern Nazarene World, Maisie, there's one precinct, 8360. And then, kind of the Crown Heights area, Gittner, Drummond 30, Maisie 18. So you can kind of see what's dribbling in, the few south side precincts coming in right now. So we're just gonna continue to monitor that. And then in Tulsa County, nothing in South Tulsa coming in yet, a few Broken Arrow precincts coming in, and then a few Midtown, and we're waiting, still waiting on Owasso.
I just refreshed. I think it's the first time Maisie's taken the lead on my board, for governor.
Yeah,
He's
Maisie's
up
in the lead now, 50.12.
votes.
Maisie's
Chad,
in
what are you
the
scrolling back there?
He's been working that
Just real
computer all
fast,
day.
just real fast on a couple of those other statewide, Emily. Superintendent Franklin is continuing to hold his lead. He's
Yeah.
pretty much winning. Just a quick look here, 65 counties. Commissioner of Labor, if you remember the map from election night and the primary,
Can-
it's very
Can
similar
we pull
map.
that? Scott, can you pull that Commissioner of Labor primary results map up?
And then if you look at the runoff, very similar. The shocking thing to me is that Kevin West is winning the Panhandle, which is very rural. And then these small, what I call Cotton County, Jefferson County, very small, very rural. Kevin West is winning those two. So
Yeah, and I mean,
shocking. Insurance commissioner is about the same map. So it's looking.
going into tonight though, I kind of heard from a lot of folks that Quinn was more likely the favorite. 53% of precincts reporting for insurance commissioner, and Bob Sullivan's got 15,000, 14,000, 15,000 votes. So we'll see where that lands.
Senate District 18, I'm picking up multiple texts from multiple different campaigns because that overlaps with the House District race down there too. Ty Herring is running considerably better than he did in the primary. So we're continuing to monitor that as they come in. So we'll just have to see that as they come in, see what happens with Jack as it goes up into Yukon. Like we said, Painter, Jessica's opening up even wider lead now. I think that's safe to call. 32, we have unconfirmed reports that we all believe that Curtis Irwin won. 34, Aaron Forrest is out commanding lead, but there's only 6 in. And then Justin Wood continues to run really, really well in that. Chris White has opened up a lead in 1. House District 9, the one Adam had briefly up on the board that he was talking about, very tight, 4 votes. David Smith, Representative Smith, has taken the lead now. There's 10 precincts left. Brittingham is way out in the lead.
Pat McFerrin still sending us some scoop post Zoom. So thanks for joining back in. Pat says 17 counties are complete for governor. Generally small and rural counties have kind of wrapped up. Drummond picked up about 243 votes through those wrapping up. So interesting there, Pat. Thanks for that scoop.
That race, Drummond's gone back into the lead in the governor's race by 40 votes, 38 votes.
Y'all, Senate District 34, I think Prieto's gonna have a hard time catching up.
Yeah, let me see.
Talk to me about that race, Emily, because Prieto, obviously an established name in that Senate seat. Was that expected? Is
Yeah,
that?
I mean, he's only been there 1 term. He was elected in 22. Trying to think who he beat. Did he beat JJ Dossett?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so he flipped that seat from blue to red in 22. He's a official member of the Freedom Caucus, has kind of signed his name on that dotted line, and we saw a lot of Freedom Caucus legislators that were not successful in the primary or were now pushed into a runoff. So we'll see here. I think, did Senate leadership get involved in 34? Did they chime in there? I can't remember on that one.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Um,
Was
Yeah,
he
so
part of the GOP last second endorsements?
was he?
I don't, yeah, was he? I don't know if they got into the Senate races. Obviously, they were big about the governor races and the superintendent races, but I didn't think they got that low. Talk to me. You mentioned it
I want to,
with
I want
Pat.
to mention Senate District 17. We are just getting some numbers that Wood's got a sizable lead there. And I mean, he's got a known name ID just because he's running for House. Obviously, Abby does as well, having been on a ballot before as county commissioner, but Justin's up 800 votes. Only 7 precincts reporting, but it looks like, yeah, it looks like Justin's maybe taking the lead. And I am getting confirmation from some friends via text that leadership in the Senate did support Aaron Forst. And so I think maybe that played a role in Forst's lead against an incumbent there in Senate District 34.
Very good. What I was going to say is that, that last second endorsement by the GOP here in the state for certain candidates, you mentioned it with Pat. He didn't think it was a gargantuan thing one way or the other. Your guys' thoughts when that came out, just a push mainly from Mazie to get as many hardcore conservatives on board as possible?
I don't know. I don't think anybody in this call is your average voter. So I don't know if I got that text, if it would have motivated me to get off my couch today and go vote. So.
I just want to give a quick update on the House District 9 race. There's 3 more precincts coming in now in that race that push some numbers up for Crystal Campbell. She's now ahead by looks like 40 votes roughly. So those precincts coming in late are looking good in her favor, but there's still 4 more precincts to come in, and it looks like there's 1 in Tulsa and then 3 more in Rogers County waiting to come in on that race.
Keith, do you want to share intel that you have?
Well, I'm being told by multiple sources, I don't like to say it unless I confirm it, but we're being told that possibly, I like to use the word possibly, that until we can confirm it from more than one person, that Ty Herring has won. So we're trying to confirm that. So we'll be back once we confirm it. So we're just being told by multiple people that that's the case.
Weingart's got 15 precincts out, and she's up almost 1,000. It's more like 850, maybe. They're in Senate District 26, and then is it safe to say Painter it's Painter in 24?
Yes, I've been told that also from
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey guys, 1/4 past the hour. Just to remind everyone, this streaming on okdecides.com. It's our website that really encapsulates all the information you need to know when it comes to the races in our state. It is a website that we're very proud of, and we are streaming there live as well as on Facebook Live. And a lot of friends are watching. We know that tonight, whether it be Emily's parents, which she had mentioned earlier, but Kristen Peck, former chairperson of the chamber, currently the chair of the State Chamber Research Foundation, watching. Want to say hi to Kristen. Lots of people anxiously awaiting the results of some of these key races, especially the governor's race. Everyone's got their eyes on that one, but we continue to get you the latest information when it comes to some of these legislative races that are so key to the future of our state, and specifically the legislation that will come through. I know you guys are continuing to work phones and get more information. Emily, what do you got?
Yeah, I just wanted to hear what folks were thinking about 32. I know we don't have a lot of precincts in, but that are publicly reported, but the text I'm getting is that Irwin is in the lead sizably. Anybody else confirm that?
Not me yet. So,
Okay.
I'm busy looking at precincts on the governor's race as we, get ready for this show. Cause we're up to almost 65% reporting and it's basically 700 votes. So.
Amanda Hall in our war room is noting that House District 9 incredibly close. Pulling it up now. I haven't heard from anybody over there, but I mean they are one vote. Oh my gosh.
It doesn't get any closer than that. Wow. Testament to how key every single vote is sometimes. Adam's been working the phones. I know that. He's probably going to have something good for us because he's been diligently typing away on that phone. We're trying to line up a couple of people later on the show to give us some expert insights as some of the winners will be on with us when we can line that up. Adam, you got stuff for us?
I don't have anything confirmed that the other group hasn't said that we can get. I'm trying to work on getting some information down in far southeast and up in Claremore, maybe about where we can maybe get some insight on what's going to happen in a couple of those really close house runoffs in Broken Bow and Claremore. So work on the phones. When I get something, I'll chime in, let you know.
It seems like Herring is, I know
Yeah.
Keith said that earlier, but I'm getting confirmation of that as well, that another member of the Freedom Caucus has lost with Jack Stewart likely conceded. So
On some of these
Big
house
news.
races, like, I'm just going through the list here. We're getting 78% of precincts in House District 1 reported. That one is pretty close. Chris White has pulled ahead. He is up by he's up by 100, over 100 votes in that race, 130 votes.
So to 47.
Let's go down to 47.
Toby Thompson's opened up a lead there on the election day of. So
57% of the vote reporting there. And then up in House District 38 in kind of north central Oklahoma, 38 precincts reporting there. And it looks like Madison Boley has a sizable lead there. He's got a little under 1,000 vote lead there, with a few more precincts coming in, mainly in that Garfield County area. Yeah, 4 pretty big precincts out there.
but the two big ones are in, to the north there. The 2 big ones are in. So and Danielle won them big, but they're in. So there's no more big precincts left in that House district. They're all going to be small, rural, all over the place.
Yeah.
All of Logan County's in. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Madison took all of the rural counties there, Grant, Kay, Noble, Logan.
Madison, we get them on the phone.
Yeah, I think that one looks pretty safe. Looks like Madison's pretty good there.
have we talked 47? More numbers in 8 of 14 precincts,
It's up to 11 now.
11. My internet's not as fast over here, Keith.
He's way in the lead. Toby's way in the lead now,
Yeah.
which means we should have new numbers in governor's office.
All of them.
Yeah, just doing some looking over here and talking to some folks on the ground back in Claremore. It does look like some of the outstanding precincts are some of the places where Stokes performed the strongest in June. So not going to put the cart ahead of the horse here, but something to watch for as those continue to roll in to see that he might pull away potentially up there in Claremore, but also not reporting yet to be seen, simply based on some.
Just following up on Pat McPherson and the small counties, they're pretty much all in. Just going through here. Comanche still has 17 to report. Kingfisher 7, Canadian 14, Logan County's done, Payne County 3, Noble County's done. I mean, all these, and in far eastern Oklahoma, there's just a few precincts in each county left. If you get on the map, excluding Ada and Murray County and Pontotoc County, Maisie has won all of southeastern Oklahoma except those 2. And then western Oklahoma, Drummond has won a good share. of western Oklahoma. And then Oklahoma County is surrounded. Right now, Oklahoma County is about 52% for Drummond, but every county around Oklahoma County has Maisie in the lead, but barely. For example, like in Cleveland County, Maisie only has 50.37, so it is very tight. Lincoln County is done. Maisie got 50.96. So you can kind of see that what's coming in. And if you click in Tulsa County, we're still waiting for Midtown Tulsa and a lot of the southern South Tulsa precincts. So there's a lot out. And then Oklahoma City, if you look, so like Quail Creek, Drummond got 57%. The Greens, Drummond got 63%. So those hold up through like Lone Oak and Velarde, Quail Creek, down through Nichols Hills into Belle Isle. There's a lot of Republicans in there. If that holds up if Drummond can continue those numbers, it'll chip away at that lead, because Edmond, like I said earlier, Maisie's winning him, but not by a margin, just a little bit switcher. Like I said, Oak Tree 52.39, east of Oak Tree 54, west of Oak Tree 51%. So you kind of see it's just very tight in all those precincts. But if Drummond can do these like he's doing in Quail Creek at 57.5%, and the Greens at 63.5%, if he can continue that around Lake Hefner, he'll pick up a lot of votes.
Yeah, Keith, you're talking about Edmond though. I do another very tight race, that House race in Edmond. What's the latest up there between Rains and Tally?
House District 81.
81, that is. Yeah, very tight race.
3 of 13. It's 52.2 to 47.8. Troy Talley's in the lead by 34 votes.
Yeah, that one's good. How many precincts did you say? What's that?
3 of 13.
Okay. Yeah.
Very good. Hey, real quick, checking
And
the
neither,
statewide.
and then in that race, real fast, sorry. In that race in 81, neither candidate's home precinct has reported yet.
Very, very good. Appreciate it, Keith. All right, let's check another statewide race, because one of the legacy media outlets here in Oklahoma City, KOCO TV Channel 5, is calling Sullivan the winner in the insurance commission race. Emily had pointed out that he had a big lead, even bigger than his initial primary lead, and that looks like it's holding up, and KOCO is confident in calling that race in favor of Sullivan, so that goes in his favor. But like Keith was saying, the governor's race is going to be razor's edge, and Adam, you called it from the beginning that was probably going to be the last race that we were going to be waiting on tonight, because it was just going to be that close, and with Tulsa being one of those late reporters perennially, that was going to be very vital to the outcome of that gubernatorial.
Yeah, we're gonna be hanging out here for a little bit, and I think one of you mentioned earlier, not too far from where we're at, there's gonna be cars lined up Lincoln Boulevard, waiting to drop those returns off at the election board here in Oklahoma County, and so could be waiting a little bit, but it's gonna be fun. We got a lot to talk about. I think we're gonna have some winners or presumptive winners on here shortly that we're looking forward to chatting with, maybe some new members of the legislature, and so. Stick with us here, because we're just getting started. There's a lot out there, very close races, very tight races that we're going to watch until the end.
All of Mays County is in. So all the Inola stuff is in. Wagner County.
And all Mays County's in, and who's in the lead?
Yeah, let's see if that had a.
Well, I'm just going
bearing
around
on the race.
the whole eastern part of Wagner County is in. We're just waiting for the Broken Arrow precincts. And then in Rogers County, the southern part is in. For example, the precinct in the south in Rogers County, Gittner Drummond got 81.33%. So that kind of tells you that. But what my point is all those precincts right around the Inola are in. So Mays County was 57.6 for Drummond, 42.38 for Maisie.
Sizable win for Drummond in that area. That was very touch and go during the course of this entire race, as the smelter issue in Northeast Oklahoma, a big decisive point between the two candidates as we went through the primary and into the primary runoff as well. continue to track numbers. Continuing to say hi to members as well. Chase Beasley wanted to make sure that we said howdy to him. One of our valued members here at the chamber was weighing in. We've been over 100 people watching at times here on the YouTube stream, which is great, and we appreciate everyone taking time in their night to join us for the fun here. Like I said, it's only getting started. We're at 8:27 right now, and we still do not have a clear winner in that governor's race. We're getting more clarity when it comes to some of the other statewide races, and especially some of the hotly contested legislative races, but numbers are pouring in and we continue to update them. What's the latest? Dalton, looks like you got something for me.
Just running through the numbers here in some of these legislative races, as we're getting really close to some of these being called or ready to call. Let's look at the House districts. House District 1 down in Southeast County, we talked about that one a little bit. That one's still pretty close. There's 88% of the vote reporting right now. Looks like Chris White is still ahead by a little under 100 votes. House District 9 is still very, very close, but it looks like Scotty has regained the lead. There's 2 precincts still outstanding in that race. A little under 100 votes there, difference between Scotty Stokes and Crystal Campbell. And then down again in Southeast Oklahoma, with 100% of the vote reporting, it looks like David Smith will be returning to the state capitol. So the incumbent there in House District 18 has won that one by 51%. So close election there, but incumbent Representative David Smith will be returning. Let's see. House District 38, Madison Boley looks like the clear winner there. 1 precinct for remaining there, but Madison is up 58%. So hopefully we can hear from him pretty soon. And it looks like Toby Thompson has won House District 47 with 60% of the vote there down in the Mustang area.
All right. Some races getting clarity.
I'm sorry, Brent. Let me just one more update here. House District 91 down in South Oklahoma City, 1 precinct remaining to be reported there, but it looks like Roberto Cita is up around 300 votes there. So we'll wait for that 1 precinct to report there. We'll check in on it and see where that's at and how many votes are outstanding there. But right now, Roberto Cita is up.
Very good. Another shout out to valued friend Kathy Dar watching. Appreciate you chiming in and letting us know that you're there and supporting us. We very much appreciate that. I asked Amanda Hall, the queen of research for us in that war room tonight, what the turnout was. We heard Pat earlier in the show talking about how critical turnout would be to the overall election numbers, but specifically to the gubernatorial race. She says in 2022, runoffs had just over 270,000 votes. We're at 258,000 right now with 74% reporting. So we will likely see more than that. So the higher vote turnout was thought to be beneficial to Gettner Drummond in the gubernatorial race. You can do the math on the other races, but it looks like we're having higher than 22 turnout when it comes to this runoff election. So that probably bodes well for Gettner in that gubernatorial race. Continuing to try to get some of these winners online, and I know we're lining up some of the new faces and new names that we're going to see both in the House and the Senate. Emily, what you got?
Brent, I was just going to mention we haven't touched on U.S. Senate Democrat race, but I wanted to note that Jasmine Thomas is in a sizable lead. I think it's safe to say that she will win the nomination for U.S. Senate and will compete against Kevin Hern in November. So Jasmine Thomas is winner and will go on to the general.
Very good. Kevin Hern thought to be the heavy favorite in that general election as well. Of course, longtime CD1 representative from Oklahoma, making the jump or trying to make the jump to Senate as Mullins went to the Homeland Security office there. We continue to track some of these races tonight. The statewide, we only have one winner to declare. That would be Bob Sullivan with the Insurance Commission seat. Kevin West looks to be a fairly sizable, looks to have a very sizable lead, or fairly sizable lead when it comes to the Labor Commission office. We haven't checked superintendent in a second. I know that Robert
Yeah,
Franklin
I'm happy
had
to,
quite
yeah,
a
I'm
lead.
happy to chime in there. Franklin's still got a sizable lead, 23,000 votes and 74% in. So I'm not going to call it for him just yet, but I do think he's trending towards definitely winning. There's still about 150, my math teacher, my English teacher won't be proud. Now my math teacher won't be proud. There's 100 plus.
Your
precincts
civics
left to
teacher
report.
is loving you right now.
Tulsa
And
County,
Emily,
yeah.
in the superintendent's race, just so you know, those same precincts that Maisie was winning, Franklin's winning, and those same precincts that Drummond was winning, Franklin's even winning them bigger than Drummond. So he is,
Which I think was maybe a trend that we were curious if that would happen tonight. Drummond voters would go to Franklin and Maisie voters would go to Taylor, but I don't think that's panning out. It looks like Franklin's got the sizable lead, and James Taylor's talk of school consolidation maybe scared people off.
and Kevin West has even had by more votes.
Yeah, I think with the state superintendent race, the continued media that both of them got down the stretch, especially some of those debates, really established Franklin as the leader in that, and he came off a lot better in some of those situations, especially to some of the education circles that were up for grabs when you had a outgoing Walters that was clearly unpopular among education circles. So it looks like Franklin is well on his way to winning the Republican primary there for state superintendent.
Looking at these statewide votes.
I think we've got a guest on, so maybe we go to our guest.
All right.
Yeah, it looks like Madison Boley is on with us.
There he is. Hey, Madison, how are you? Can you hear us? Looks like you're still muted. Oh,
There he
you-
is.
We can see you now. We just can't hear you. Looks like you're still on mute there.
Okay, now are we better off there?
There we go.
How
Now
did
we
he
can
win?
hear
How did he win? I don't know. What's up with that? How did he
I'm telling you what, knocking doors is a lot better for me, huh? Absolutely. Well, I've got my wife Jordan with me also tonight.
Yeah, well, we appreciate both of you guys getting on tonight, and congratulations, a big win. For those that are watching online, Madison was our endorsed candidate up there in House District 38. So big congratulations to you, Madison. And I know it was a family effort. It took a lot of work to get you there, but thanks for getting on the call. Tell us a little bit about the race. Obviously, it's a long primary process, but kind of tell us your perspective on the race.
Absolutely. No, we've been at it, gosh, almost a year and a half now, it seems like, knocking doors and raising the money, getting to meet everybody. So it's been a long race, but couldn't do it without my wife and my 3 kids. But obviously District 38 is one of the largest in the state of Oklahoma. We cover over 5 counties and a little over 3,000 square miles. So lots of miles on the vehicle, lots of doorsteps, lots of boot leather on the roads that we're wearing out there. But no, it's been a long race. But I mean, first and foremost, I want to congratulate Danielle. I mean, running. It's been a really long race there for us. So, but we're extremely excited to get through the runoff here. But we're looking forward to the November general there. Do have a Democrat competitor, so we're not done yet, and get ready to go back out and see it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that hard work paid off, and especially in a district like yours that is largely rural. It's not like door knocking is in a neighborhood. It's a knock a door, drive a mile, knock another door, and then drive another mile. But you being a farmer rancher, it's nothing that you're not used to, I'm sure.
No, and I found a little bit of a cheat code within it. We actually got we're knocking doors with the Ranger. So the Polaris Ranger, it was a lot easier for us to be able to maneuver and flip UEs in the middle of some of those city streets there. It got around a lot faster for us. And, we were a little over 8,000 doors, I believe, closer to 8,500 doors knocked across the whole district over the past year and a half. So we've done well and look forward to continuing to seeing all the results come in.
Yeah, you bet. Tell us kind of what do you think contributed to your success tonight? Was there a particular message that you put out that you think resounded with the voters? Is there a strategy that maybe you employed? You already mentioned the Ranger, so maybe that helped a little bit. But what do you think led to success tonight?
For me, it was just the rural roots, I believe. When I knock on your door, I talk about common sense approaches, better roads, better education are the two things that but I truly do believe within myself we've got to get better at in the state of Oklahoma, work harder with, and get better at it, the legislator. Everybody wants a good road to drive on. Everybody wants a good education system. And then we continue to see some of our rural water structures continuing to fail across our state, where we've got to be on restrictions when we get into some of these D3, D4 droughts. So, being able to talk about those common sense issues with rural Oklahomans in Kay County, Grant County, Logan, and Garfield there, those are all issues that not only touch home to me personally, but touch home to a lot of those folks in those counties that we're going to have to begin to address and give rural Oklahoma the proper voice to go with.
Yeah, well, you hit on a lot of issues there that it sounds like they're going to be focuses for you, once you head to Oklahoma City. But kind of what are you looking forward to the most, do you think? Obviously, you still got a general to get through, but looking forward and vision casting, making the trip to Oklahoma City for legislative session and then representing your district after that November general. Kind of what are you looking forward to? What's your vision for your time in office?
Like you said, number one, Dalton, we got to get through November. I mean, that's not going to be an easy fight. We're going to have to fight through that and fight off the Democrats' position on that one. And once we get through that, getting into Oklahoma City, again, infrastructure is going to be the key number one thing for me. Is we're going to have to get the infrastructure base and then protect our rural agriculture land. Like we've both said, this is an extremely rural district that we're going to have to continue to protect and fight for us. Out here in the county road sectors of the state, and our county commissioners are extremely important for that. Making sure those guys have proper funding and proper training in all of those jobs is going to have to become key things we really work towards.
Awesome. Well, again, Madison, we really appreciate you and Jordan getting on with us this evening. And for those of you that are watching online, this is a face, this is a name that you guys need to be familiar with. Madison, he's ran a really good campaign. Like he said, he's worked extremely hard up there, knocking doors and getting to know voters and getting his message out. So once again, Madison, we appreciate you. Jordan, we appreciate you allowing him to run and supporting him during the campaign season, just like I know you will once he gets into office and starts representing the district. But again, thank you guys for coming on. Madison Boley, congratulations, and let us know if you need anything. But well done. Take a few, get a good night's rest and take a few days off maybe.
Absolutely. Thank you, Brent. Brent was actually the first person that ever gave me some media training. So hopefully I've gotten better from the first time. Emily, appreciate always helping me out there. And so thank you to the chamber. You guys have always been good. So I appreciate it.
You've been on our radar for a little while, buddy, and congratulations and onward and upward as we go into November. We really appreciate the time, Madison. Thanks, guys.
Hey, thank you guys. Enjoy it. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Couple of winners to declare. Robert Franklin has to be singing How Sweet It Is because he has been declared the winner when it comes to state superintendent over James Taylor. But also we've got a couple other races to report. House District 1, Chris White is your winner. He moves on to take on Reisdorf in the general. And then Scotty Stokes, a winner in Northeast Oklahoma. Mark LePac's former district, House District 9, goes on to face Andrea Biscardi, the Democrat, in November when it comes to the general in House District 9. So we're getting more and more winners declared and more clarity when it comes to the picture that we are going to be seeing in November. I think we got another winner potentially on the line with us as well, right, Emily?
Yeah, I think we do. I don't see her.
She's there.
Got so many people on the Zoom, I can't see in my boxes. There she is, Senator-elect Weingart. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We are so excited for you. We are just, I know you're floored, but we're not, because we know you were working your booty off out there. Tell us kind of what the vibe's like. You're at the party, you're with family and friends. What's going on over there?
Right now, everyone's being really quiet, so I can talk to you, and we're just all really thrilled. I'm personally still kind of shocked. I'm blown away and just really excited.
Well, we are not surprised, and we are happy to see these numbers. Tell me kind of what you think differentiated you. You were a little bit of more of a late comer into announcing this spring, and I know your opponent had his name out there a little longer. Obviously, you were also running against somebody who ran in the previous cycle, and you kind of smoked both of them. So what differentiated you?
Me, hard work and making sure that I showed up and listening. And I'm not here for myself. I'm really here for the people of District 26, and I truly have a heart to serve.
Yeah. I think that came through as you were knocking doors and putting out signs and meeting with those in your district. What's kind of the one thing you're most looking forward to now that you get to put primary and runoff behind you? Because you're winner take all tonight, so you're not you don't have another one.
I know, isn't that amazing? I'm so excited. I am looking forward to so many things. Not having to do any more line maintenance for one, especially when it's 110 degrees outside.
Right.
That's pretty exciting. But I'm just looking forward to getting into this, figuring out the next steps, and just being able to serve my district.
Well, I know you've got some girls in your household that will be happy to not be on a door knocking trip every afternoon and every weekend. And I think you've got a senior in high school, right? Somebody's graduating this year, so I know you're going to be busy.
Yes, I have a senior in high school and an 8th grader, and they're going to be very glad that this has probably slowed down a bit. My husband and my girls have been super supportive, and I'm super thankful for them. And they've been on this journey with me for the last 11 months, and it's been some days it's definitely a lot harder than others. And I'm really glad that we've come through the finish line.
We are so proud and so impressed by all the work you put into this. Hang up those door knocking shoes, and we'll see you at the Capitol here in a few months.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Congratulations.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Coming strong out of Western Oklahoma, Calumet, Jessica Weingart. Congratulations, and always cool to see the smile there on her face.
Way to go, people at your party, for keeping it quiet too. Way to go, Senate District 26 party.
Hey, some more shout outs. Brooke Simmons, got to say howdy, and thanks for chiming in on YouTube. Amanda Hall with the stat of the night, by the way. Robert
Get the
Keys.
election board on the phone. If we have to start reporting off our tax, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Hey, Amanda Hall with the stat of the night. I got to get this in, guys, because this is too good. We talked about all those dollars that Keith was talking about off the top of the show, specifically $500,000 for a Senate race with Keys in that Senate race. And she calculates right now that each vote he received cost about $200. So when you crunch the numbers there, don't know how much sense that made. Of course, victory would have been nice, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But stat of the night there from Amanda as we continue to bring you all the fun stuff as we come down the stretch here. Once again,
I know we can take a look. We can take a little Oklahoma break for a second. I got on CNN. South Carolina is having their election tonight, and Darlene Graham has been declared the winner. So there you go. Everyone can get a little extra news.
Oh yeah,
that's what we need.
Yeah, we're still having errors getting on the Oklahoma election site here. A lot of traffic, I guess, on the website.
Well, as someone who's done this on a campaign, especially a close one like this, they are burning it up. Both campaigns are burning it up. So have no fear. You just go to CNN, don't tell anybody, and you get on there and we'll be good to go. So,
So I think I've got my, as everyone in this office knows, I've got my handy dandy sticky notes out tonight. If you've ever been in my office, you know it's full of yellow stickies. So we've called Senate District 18 for Herring. We've called Senate District 24 for Painter. Senate District 26, we obviously just had Jessica Weingart on. Senate District 32, we are unofficially calling for Irwin. Are we ready to confirm that, gentlemen?
Well, we would take a look at the
yes,
results.
we can call that.
All right, we're calling it for Irwin and newcomer to the race, Curtis Irwin. And then Senate District 34, we're calling it for Forst, right?
Yeah, and Justin Wood too.
Okay, so we're calling it for Wood too. All right, so guys, two additional losses for the Freedom Caucus tonight with Jack Stewart and Dana Prieto losing their races.
All right, so on the governor's race, because that's what everyone's getting excited about. Precincts are rolling in. So Drummond is still doing what he needs to do in Oklahoma City. For example, Belle Isle, Drummond came in at 60.61%. Lakehurst, 60.71%. The big Nichols Hills precinct, Gittner Drummond, 63.31%. Quail Creek, 57.5%. The Green, 63.5%. Valverde, 52. So we're still waiting for the Lone Oak precinct to come in. It hasn't come in yet. So they're doing all that. We don't have the far northwest Deer Creek part in yet, but out by Southern Nazarene, Bethany area, Maisie is continually just clinking those off. 55, 57, 53, 64.
Hey, Keith, not to cut you off, but let's zoom out for the folks and kind of show them a little bit. I know, contrary to popular belief, I'll speak for Dalton here and say the world revolves around a lot more than West Oklahoma City.
I know, but then you flip over to Tulsa.
Oh, I know. We're waiting on these two places to come in, right? But what you see statewide, if you've got one screen at home, we're gonna help you out here a little bit because you're choosing to watch us, which we really appreciate.
Adam, hang on, buddy. Your map is, none of us can see
Yeah, you
anything.
can't see it, but I-44 has pretty much divided this race. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it later. For the general election, our map will be legible, I promise. Just know that this race is split east and west, as Keith is on top of those numbers coming in Oklahoma City that are ultimately going to decide who gets to wield the power of the governor and probably be in that Republican nominee and what all that entails.
And in South Tulsa.
Oh, I can see it now, Adam.
Yeah, we turned the iris down a little bit, buddy. We can see the towns you're talking about. Take a look.
Kind of see it a little bit there, there.
Oh, and they're gone.
It's a rudimentary drawing. I'm messing everything up, so I'm going to let you guys get back to it. I think we may have somebody else coming on
I
soon.
think we've got a guest on.
I think we do. Hey, real quick, KOCO is calling Kevin West the winner in the Labor Commissioner statewide race. Another statewide winner has been declared there. We'll keep an eye on some of the other races. I believe we still need to call a winner in, I guess, just the governor, because we've called Sullivan in labor. We have called West in Sullivan in insurance. We have called West in labor. We have called Franklin in education superintendent race. So we continue to monitor the statewide races. A lot of buzz coming in on the Democratic winner for U.S. Senate as well. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Emily, you've got another winner with us?
Yeah, I think so. There he is. Mr. Justin Wood. How's it going? You're still on mute.
I'm trying to find a quiet space real fast.
It's hard to find a quiet spot when you're celebrating, right?
Oh, sure. Got it. All right, here we go. There you go. All right. Okay, we found
How's
it.
it going down in Senate District 17?
We are doing well. We just got done with a lot of people in the house, so it's nice to have everyone around us that we love and care about. So
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. We're happy for you. Happy to have you back up at the Capitol.
Yeah.
I think many people are wondering, you had so much fun in the House and you just wanted to come back for more fun in the Senate?
That's right. No, I'm excited. I think, 10 years later, I know the process and it just gives me an opportunity to go be effective. So the Senate is a different chamber. It's a different animal, different leadership styles a lot of the time than in the House, a lot less people to have to wrangle. So it does definitely give us an opportunity to lead with a mature mindset.
Yeah. What felt like a kind of a turning point for this runoff for you, kind of when you felt the momentum shift to definitively you over the last few weeks? Was that last few weeks? Was it today? What kind of when was it?
No, we were really confident after the primary that we were probably a few decisions away from maybe pulling it outright in the primary. But you never want to take anything for granted. So we just stayed on the doors, kept raising money, kept making sure our message was getting out. I don't think I ever felt like we were going to win. Right? You're confident, but if you run for office before you understand that, I mean, overconfidence is, it's deadly. And so you want to make sure that you're humbly requesting people's votes and asking for their votes. And that's just the best way to do it.
Well, we are proud to welcome you back to the state capitol, and I know you'll be you're already a regular up there, so they know who you are, and you'll fit right back in and be joining a really good Senate caucus. I mean, you guys, there's been some really good wins tonight for the Senate Republican caucus, and I know you'll be excited to join that group.
We do still have a general election in November, so
Yep.
I'm not going to take that for granted. We're running against a former mayor. He's a good man. He's well liked, and I'm excited to get to run against him. And I think it'll be a great, clean race about differing ideas. And we're gonna decide what ideas our district wants at the Capitol represented. So we're excited to do that. And yes, I cannot wait to get to the Capitol and start working with the men and women that are serving there currently. Really excited to do that.
Hopefully you get to take a few days off in this blazing heat in August before you got to start gearing up for the general.
We're going to pick up some signs here in a little bit, and then we're going to get back to work. So I'll probably go out to lunch tomorrow, take a little break from work, and then we'll get back on the doors.
That's what a winner does, folks. At 10 o'clock at night on the night of their election, they go get their signs because they're going to need them later on.
That's right. Got to take care of our money. Good steward.
Thank you for tuning in and joining us tonight. Congratulations. We'll definitely be tracking this one into November.
Thank you. And I just want to say Abby Thompson was a great opponent. She cares about our district, and I want everyone to know that. I mean, there's no ill will between us. I think I look forward to working with her in the years to come. So I'm excited to be able to continue our friendship there.
She was a formidable candidate for you in Senate District 17 and put her heart and soul into it. So it was.
That's right.
It was two good candidates, and
That's right. That's right. Sure appreciate you.
Good to see you.
Talk to you soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yes, ma'am.
I like the branded gear there for Justin as well. The hat looking sporty. Love it. Continue to follow these races tonight. Thanks for joining us here on Election Night Live. Of course, we are coming at you with the primary runoff edition. We are just about 5 minutes till the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. Still monitoring a lot of races that are going to come down the wire, namely that gubernatorial race that has been neck and neck all night long. Keith has been keeping up to speed on some of the precincts, weighing in on that gubernatorial race, but lots of the Senate and state house races have now been declared, and we continue to get some of the winners up there to make sure that you're aware of exactly how that's going to look when it comes to the general. But in some cases, like we had with Ms. Weingart, she just outright wins because there's not going to be a Democratic competitor or a Democrat competitor for her. So a lot of these races are very meaningful. Numbers continuing to flow in some of these tight races, and we've already talked to 3 of the winners tonight as well. So monitoring turnout. Latest that I had reported from Amanda is that turnout was greater so far proportionally than in 2022. So it looks like that we had predicted would be a good thing for Gettner Drummond in the gubernatorial race. And you can do the math when it comes to some of the other races and how that would affect it. But we continue to work those numbers.
Can we roll through some of the house races? Scott, do you mind throwing up the slide that has I think we've called all the Senate races. So can we get the house one up? That just has all the House Brady Bunch boxes.
Mhm. Scott
Shout
Harris
out
doing
to
wonders
Connie
tonight.
Pearson and Elizabeth Floyd in Tulsa. I know you guys are watching. Hopefully having a beverage for me.
Also want to say thank you to Scott Harris for punching all the buttons behind the scenes in our second edition of Election Night Live. He's got a
Yeah.
difficult job and he's keeping up really well.
So does somebody have a pen that they could mark on this and circle so we can see where we're at?
Don't think.
Okay.
Maybe. There we go.
That'll come back for general election night, guys. We'll have that function down.
If you guys give me just a minute, I can run with you here. I just give me 5 seconds, if you will.
5, 4, 3. I'm kidding. Okay, so I think we've called HD1 for Chris White, HD9 for Scotty Stokes, HD18 for David Smith. Have we called 19?
Okay.
I know Amanda had some
Yeah.
numbers.
Brittingham got that. We've got Boley,
Okay, perfect. See, this is what I was imagining.
Toby Thompson. Where are we at in Edmond, Keith? That's Oklahoma City. I know you're paying very close attention.
Hold
to
on, let me
everything
get out,
that goes
let me
on
get out
there.
of Tulsa here.
In District 81 in that Edmond seat, I've got it pulled up. Troy is ahead by over 400 votes, 9 of 13 precincts reporting.
Here, I can go and move the map on that.
Mike Osborne, if you're watching, I'm about to text you. We need some intel.
Need to know. Gotta know.
I don't think there's, are we muted?
Nope, we're good.
No,
I
you
don't
are
think
not.
I don't
We're
think. So if they're not saying anything, yeah, I think 81, I don't think there's enough, if you look at the precincts that are outstanding, I don't think there's enough votes. And,
Yeah, so I think we're.
Troy County has won all the precincts reporting, Troy's won every single one, including Rusty Rain's precinct.
We'll do a dotted line around that one. Come back later and confirm that.
House District 91, Roberto Sita has won that seat. Roberto,
Congratulations to Roberto.
for those of you that don't know, is former Representative David Perriman's son-in-law, but he's taken House District 91.
What about this one over here? When I checked in it earlier, the one runoff on the Democrat side of these state
Dr.
house races, Dr. Brown was.
Dr. Brown has the lead. He's won. He's got a general election. He's got a Republican opponent, but yeah, he's declared. Okay, it got too bright. I can't see the circles.
We're gonna fix that. These technical issues, I promise, we're still working out. This is only our second time doing this, guys. But we're having a lot of fun and you guys seem to be too watching us. So we're gonna get the color figured out. But
Seems
they've got
like
all the intel.
some people are ready to call 81 for tally.
I
just called it.
kind of where Keith
I already
is
called
leaning
it,
as well.
called it.
All right, hey,
You were
this is you on the line. I'm darkening the circle there. That's a full circle now. The
Okay,
legislative races are done.
there we go. We're done with legislative races. All right, I think
Hit
Dalton
the
and I
state questions, because they're over, then we can be done with those.
state questions. I think Dalton and I were right, folks.
Yeah, more importantly, who won, who lost in the prediction department?
Emily, Dalton's has been invalidated.
Oh, that is up for review.
I think, can we get the stats masters in the war room on that? Maybe I'll walk us through that here in a minute.
Why are we questioning that I won?
Okay, we don't need the stats masters. This is Game of Thrones now. He who has the dragons, right? Okay.
It looks like 846 has won and 844 definitively has not won. Not won. And it's gone.
What do we think that is? Can we talk about that for a second? We have a very long constitution in the state of Oklahoma, and we've got to go to it quite often. I think voters get tired of having to vote on it. I think, no offense to all my friends in the legislature, the people a lot of times think, well, why can't they just do it? They're not doing anything. Well, if you've got to go to the Constitution to do something, that's how it works. It supersedes state law, and you got to go there. Are the issues that we've got to tackle sometimes in a 21st century economy maybe a little too complicated to boil down to a state question. Like, how do we solve for having to increasingly go back to the Constitution? Do we think that's what happened here?
I think people went to we already have voter ID, so they got to the poll and said, we already do that. I don't think they differentiate. And the other one had a lot of people against it and there was no one for it. And it's-
Well,
I don't think-
that's a tough, the 5-year ad valorem manufacturing exemption is a tough concept for the everyday voter to understand. Those of us that work at the Capitol obviously are familiar with it, but the everyday voter probably, doesn't understand the issue.
And I think that's what I was getting at, Dalton, is that like you get however many words to describe it on the ballot. You see taxes. I think people are apprehensive about that kind of thing. It's hard to understand. And so you safely vote no. If you're a voter in your conscience, that would be, that's kind of how you take it. But I don't know. That was very resounding defeat handed to that question for sure.
Yeah, that dog won't hunt.
No.
All right, guys, it's time to switch seats for you, Dalton, because I want to bring in Luke right now. Something that's been gaining momentum throughout the United States and different parts of the country is the Democratic Socialist movement, specifically in the upper Midwest. Luke joining us now. He's been surfing the web, making sure that we're up to speed on the latest stuff there. And I know he's got a couple of things, but I wanted to get to CNBC citing that the winner of the Democratic U.S. Senate primary, Thomas, the first Democratic Socialist from Oklahoma, specifically this part of the country, to win, and part of a growing movement. What have you got for us, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, Brent, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I think, one of the notable things that I called up earlier is that NBC News is the only coverage that they've done, at least on X, is that Nikayla Jasmine Thompson won the Democratic Senate primary runoff. So I think it's interesting that, here in Oklahoma, obviously red state, that they're really focusing on that trend that we're seeing nationally. So in terms of the national chatter, that's what people are talking about, is the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what we're seeing. Otherwise, it's been pretty quiet on social. I think everybody's too busy watching the stream.
Well, no doubt. Hundreds of people watching right now. But yeah, you bring up a good point. We were just at the National State Chamber Convention up in New York, and that was a big topic of conversation. The Democratic Socialists, obviously, for state chambers and other local chambers across the country, capitalism is a very important thing. Free market, free enterprise is the backbone of what business is built on here in the United States. And it's a concerning trend for many chambers and many business leaders across the country when you see this happening. Obviously, in this part of the country, it's probably not going to happen as frequently, but it is something that has been taking shape, specifically in the upper Midwest, Michigan, and Minnesota.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point, Brendan. I just want to point out some numbers here. Thompson's campaign, her opponent spent $315,000, while her campaign only spent $57,000. So again, some really remarkable numbers in terms of who's outspending, and actually in this case it was she underspent by a significant amount of money and still came out with that win. So I think people think it doesn't happen here in Oklahoma, but it certainly can. So it's definitely a notable race, and that's what the national news media has picked up as well.
And like we said, I mean, Kevin Hern is going to be a heavy favorite in that general election in November for that United States Senate seat. But it's worth noting that a candidate like that did get some significant support on the Democratic side in Oklahoma tonight. So appreciate you surfing the web and getting us up to speed on all the people watching as well. There in the war room, crunching the numbers. I know Amanda's still trying to get to the bottom of the turnout numbers and exactly who won our prediction race when it comes to some of those state questions. But Amanda's saying that right now, 404,000 total, which is exactly what Dalton guessed for the turnout. So Dalton,
Yes, Dalton needs a seat back. Nostradamus.
yes, looking pretty
cheated.
sassy there.
I did not.
He was down at the election board at about 6:52.
No, I used data and prediction and my big noggin to come up with those numbers.
Huge melon.
We're down to 4 counties left in the state that haven't finished reporting. So we got Adair County with 1 precinct out. I don't know what's going on in Stevens County. It's been at 22 of 28 for a while. Hopefully they're not having an issue. And then Oklahoma County's at 205 of 290. And Tulsa County's at 180 reporting at a 251. So they're rolling in here, and it's going just like it did in the primary in Tulsa County. Drummond is doing very well in the Midtown area, and Maisie is doing very well in the South Tulsa, Broken Arrow area, and then in Oklahoma City, nothing's really changed. Drummond's doing very well all the way from Belle Isle up to Quail Creek, up into the edges of Deer Creek. We're waiting for all the Deer Creek precincts to come in. And then Edmonds basically split 50-50. And then Del City, Midwest City is coming in for Maisie. And then the Bethany, War Acres area is coming in for Maisie. So we're just kind of waiting for the far Choctaw area to come in, Deer Creek, few random big Republican precincts, and then Tulsa. We're just sort of waiting for a good chunk of just regular Tulsa precincts, but they're coming in pretty good. Owasso's in. We're just waiting for Collinsville.
We're just waiting on governor at this point, right? We've called everything else.
Yes.
We've called all the rest of the state. Yeah, once again, Franklin for state superintendent, Sullivan for labor, or for insurance rather, and then West for labor when it comes to the statewide races.
Yeah.
I mean,
If
what
you're a
I
member of our
understood-
2300 club, you will get an email tomorrow with the voter guide election results. So be a member of our 2300 club, and then you can get that.
And those 2300 club members got early access to some of our one-on-one interviews that we did with some of the statewide candidates throughout the year too. It's really a great way for business leaders to stay up to speed when it comes to the candidates that are involved, and specifically their stance on business. We just talked about it. Some of them may not have the most favorable stance when it comes to business. So it's important to know exactly where they stand and where they're coming from. So great organization with 2300 Club.
Do we think that there will be a push for a recount with how close it is for Maisie and Drummond?
The way Oklahoma does recount, you can do it, but it would be very expensive the way we do recounts. Because you have to, but in this race, money doesn't matter. So I guess it doesn't matter. So yes, we can have a recount. But I like to remind everyone, we have a really good system. You know, Kevin Calvey in Oklahoma County, when he ran for DA, did a whole recount of the entire county. And I don't remember, but it was like 2 votes or 3 votes that changed. So, and he did the biggest county in the state. So
I recall our friend Evan Handy sat through that recount and
Yeah.
said it was painstaking.
painstaking. And I don't remember what the vote was. We look up, but when I think when General Drummond ran the first time for Attorney General, it was 300 votes, 200. It was some really, really close against Mike Hunter. I don't know. We get our research executive producer. She's waving us that. She's going to get us the answer. So I don't remember what that was, but that was very close. As we see here right now, this was 2,700 votes. So, but we're getting up there now, and we're almost 93% in. And Maisie's up by 2,700. So up Stevens County now has got 26 to 28. So they got those 2 in. So we're just waiting on these 4 counties, but mainly Oklahoma County and Tulsa County.
You know, off the top, Pat was talking about voter turnout and that he thought the increase number or higher than 2022 would be in favor of Drummond. I guess we've seen that a little bit in some of the rural areas that Drummond has picked up votes in from previously, but Drummond did win the primary, so he's obviously losing some in maybe some of the urban areas. I guess it's still obviously too close to call, but it looks like the increased voter turnout has actually been in favor of Maisie, which was not necessarily predicted.
So, someone just texted me, I'll confirm this, but I'm gonna go ahead and report it. On the counties that are outstanding, Drummond has a lead of 50.7 to 49.3. So, you get some math nerds out there and do the 90% at that, 10%, we can figure out kind of where we're gonna be at. But really, the reason this race is really, really close is that, Drummond ran really well in far northwest and western Oklahoma. And if he had not done that, the race would be over. So Alfalfa County, Woods County, Harper County, Woodward County, Ellis County, all 65, 60%. If he had not done that, the race would already be over. So we're still talking because in the far western Oklahoma, Drummond did really, really well. But in return for that, in eastern Oklahoma, Maisie did really, really well. So, but now we're just counting metro votes. It's down to 2,400 now. Just gonna do this backwards the other way here.
This would be analysis for another day, but I wonder where the majority of the Keating, Merrick, and McCall voters went in the runoff.
Well, I don't have a full analysis, Emily, but I jumped off camera here to work on something I was talking about earlier, that there were 10 counties where neither Drummond or Merrick finished in the top 2 in June. And of those counties, Drummond has won 8 of them. So those counties I listed earlier, other than Major and Beaver, Drummond won each of those. Now, he was the 3rd place vote getter in all of those counties that he won as well. So kind of bumped right up in order there, along who was left standing. But sort of among those Merrick and Keating voters, which 9 of those counties were some form of Merrick Keating 1-2, with one of them being a Keating McCall County. That was Beaver County, where Maisie has won. I think that's sort of interesting, is starting to get an insight into where those voters went in this election.
I'm looking at the map here and comparing it to the primary map, and it looks like Maisie picked up 3 counties that Jake Merrick had won, particularly there in western Oklahoma. So Maisie picked up Canadian County, he picked up McLean County, and he picked up Major County. And it looks like Drummond took the rest of those counties that Merrick had won. I'll do a quick look at the counties that Chip Keating won here in just a second.
So real fast, just on some quick math, and working with somebody else too. If we assume that there's 30,000 votes out, because that's probably around where we're at, and you see that Maisie's ahead by that, Drummond would need to win the remaining 30,000 by 10%. So something dramatic would have to change in these precincts that are outstanding for that to happen. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but based on if you just look at the trends in these other precincts, their neighboring precincts and all that, we just don't have that. So especially as these bigger Oklahoma City precincts come in, where Drummond's getting 55, 60, 65% of the vote, there's not very many left. There's we've got we got Lone Oak left, and we've got all the Deer Creek precincts, and that's really the only big Republican precincts that are left outstanding. And there's a few over in the Choctaw area. So Oklahoma County doesn't have very many big precincts. There's a few in South Oklahoma City, but there's not very many Republicans down there. And then in Tulsa County, the South Tulsa ones are rolling in, and the Midtown ones are rolling in. And I mean, I just
looking down in the southeast part of the state, going back to primary results of the counties that Charles McCall won, it looks like Drummond only picked up 1 county, Murray County. Drummond won that. The rest went to Mike Maisie. So he did very well in southeast Oklahoma.
All right, guys.
We thought the governor's race was going to be close and all the polling showed, 1 point either way. And that's really what it's turning out to be right now. Not even 1 point lead for for Mike Mazie. You heard that it's coming down to the wire as Keith has reeled off some of those specifically urban Oklahoma City and Tulsa precincts that are still outstanding, but we'll continue to follow those.
We're getting intel that it's a guess that Drummond's going to lose by 3,200 points, but I have no idea.
By 3,200
Not a
votes.
specific
3,200
number.
votes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just,
That's,
if you just-
I've
if you
got
just look
guesses.
with- if you look with what's outstanding, like I said, those big Oklahoma City precincts, there aren't very many left, and so Drummond's not going to get any big 200-300 gainers, vote gains out of those smaller precincts, and then the Tulsa ones are just running. Even these ones in these precincts in Midtown are just not. They're just not big enough to overcome that. And then South Tulsa ones are rolling in. Like here's a precinct down here. Mazie got 353. Drummond got 252. But in Midtown, the precincts are smaller. Drummond got 162. Mazie got 100. So precincts aren't as big. There's not as many Republicans. So these precincts in South Tulsa and Bixby, as they roll in, it's going to be and Mazie's winning them all. If we can pull that up, I don't know if we can, but the Tulsa County. If you pull the Tulsa County and you look at it, the South Tulsa
Can
part.
someone pull that up on the screen? Scott, can you pull up elections.ok.gov, go to the governor race and yeah, perfect. Man, Paul Xerox, your website's so amazing. Look at the granularity here. Is that a word? Granularity?
Yeah. I'll accept it.
So if we just click in one of those counties and then just click on the map, and then you can see we've got Tulsa County pulled up there. So the green is what's out still, and then Mazie's like the pink, and then dark brown is that, and the purple are ties. So you can kind of see the trends there where the candidates are doing good. So all those precincts in green in the south part, just based on trends, chances are Mazie's going to win those, and then the ones north in the middle part of Tulsa County there, just based on trends, you can assume those are going to be Drummond's. And if you go to Oklahoma City, you can kind of see the same thing. Oklahoma County, you can kind of see the same thing there. What's outstanding, but we're just kind of waiting on that far northwest part, Deer Creek, Lone Oak, right there, and then out far east, out Choctaw, out there. So there's just not much left, and then those other green ones south in the mid part over here, there's just not going to be very many Republicans in the southwest part above the South and Northwest Expressway.
Is this Jones area?
That's Jones, but those precincts are smaller. You can see the one there. They're just not very many voters there. So, Drummond's going to need these 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 precincts in Northwest Oklahoma County. He has to come in big, far northwest. Those all the green ones. Those
Deer Creek area.
Deer Creek, South, Lone Oak, one more down. Right, yeah, so all that, one more down, that big one there, that's a big one, and then the 2 over there are gonna be big. So he's gonna have to really do good, but you can even see in some of those neighboring precincts, Mazie's won a couple of them. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And Stevens County is done now. So now we're down to 3 counties we got 1 precinct in Adair County, and then we're just waiting on Tulsa and Oklahoma County.
Guys, I'm just thinking of how this will affect the November election. Does a Mazie win influence results in November for other races differently?
I think
Brent, I don't think so.
Too early to tell.
Yeah, too early to tell. I just, sometimes you'll get a win that would influence other races just by familiar turnout, but I don't know that with such a close win, it would make a huge difference with some of those races.
What's interesting is just looking at the map here, there were a few counties that flipped, a few rural counties that flipped that Drummond won in the primary, particularly in eastern Oklahoma, Muskogee County, Haskell County, Latimer County. Drummond won those in the primary, but they went Mazie here in the runoff. Trying to see, I don't know that there were too many others, but kind of interesting to see the change from the primary to a lower voter turnout runoff race.
I think the question we need to ask ourselves is how many legislators are in the car right now driving up the turnpike to attempt to get to Macy's watch party.
Maybe. Who knows? Yeah, a lot of legislators went in for Drummond. So I don't
Really
know.
became
I think that
a big part of the positive Drummond campaign was endorsements from legislators. And I know we all got communications, most of us, that are from our legislator who had endorsed Drummond. And so that's an interesting dynamic you have to look forward to, you know, kind of see how that's going to shake out.
Is it still testament to the strength of Trump's endorsement in Oklahoma?
I mean, maybe, but like it's this close. I mean, it's
It
yeah.
didn't
I'd say I think the Trump endorsement is fragile. I think we were talking as a team this week. It's, don't quote me here, but he's like 5 for 15. This may make it 6 for 16 in endorsements in open governor's races. They're not necessarily like knocking it out of the park there. So it's not a ironclad lock when you do that, you know. He's they seem to be kind of, I won't say throwing it around willy-nilly. That would be a little too far, but
I think the difference though in Oklahoma, Adam, for this endorsement was not only like the endorsement for Mazie, but then kind of the doubling down on being anti-Drummond. Maybe I don't follow national politics as closely, but I don't feel like you saw that in other states where Trump would endorse a candidate and then just go so staunchly opposed to the other one. So
no, I think that's a good point. I think, you know, you pay attention to the formula. The True Social Post goes out. I endorse this incredible American to be the governor of X state. And it's kind of last you hear of it. It's on the campaign to make what they can out of that endorsement. Like to Emily's point, the president doubled down and continued to speak out of his dislike for General Drummond and continue to sort of campaign against him as well. So, you know, I don't know.
One thing we've talked about a little bit is the Inola smelter and what a big issue that was in the campaign and how much that was talked about. But, you know, looking at the vote totals here, do we think that maybe what we're seeing may shape that conversation around that issue?
Potentially, I would almost call that the inverse of the geography we've talked about, though, that in eastern Oklahoma, where the smelter is proposed to be placed and sited, and where they've chosen is gone for Mazie, while the other part of the state has gone for Drummond. So I think just crack open the psyche there. I think that's an interesting question to ask. Some of those, obviously, maybe you guys can dig into some of those precincts right around where there's kind of been the hotbed of that, but it's kind of an interesting thing to look at in that the part of the state that probably knows more about the project has continued to vote for Mazie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mays County did go for Drummond, but there were a couple precincts in there that went Mazie. But I'll continue.
And Dalton, on that point, not as overwhelmingly as I think I would have assumed.
Yeah.
I think I would have assumed that Mays County would have just been overwhelming for Drummond, and even surrounding like Delaware County, Cherokee County, they went for Mazie. Wagner and Rogers barely for Drummond.
We're down to 64 precincts left and it's 2,200 votes. So it's and Lono came in Oklahoma County and Mazie won it. So that kind of stopped the streak of those big precincts. Mazie got 141, Drummond got 140. So.
We need some popcorn right now. You know, we need to be that meme of the person
Yeah,
eating the
it's-
popcorn.
I gotta know here. But I mean, it sounds like we're getting close and the gap may not be shrinking fast enough. Boy, it's gonna.
There's four precincts in South Tulsa, Broken Arrow left. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 precincts in Midtown Tulsa. And there's 1 precinct in Collinsville, 1 in Owasso, 1 in Sand Springs. We still have 1 precinct in Adair County. Oklahoma County is basically the 3 far Deer Creek precincts. And then far southeast, people who have to drive the farthest to Lincoln Boulevard. So that's gonna be the smallest of the Republican precincts. Those are not gonna be big vote getters in all those. So
Somebody get on a Lime scooter and drive down to Lincoln right now. Wear a helmet.
Bright clothing. It's dark,
it's gonna be total votes.
I think. It's dark, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you're in the production room. You can't see anything.
I don't know. I mean, is
When
anybody
we were
watching?
at- when we were at three-
Emily, that's
we were-
State Chamber Studios. Thank you.
When we were at 320, when we were at 335,000 votes, we said there were 30,000 left. And we're now at 355. So if that number was correct, we have around 10,000 votes out. And Maisie is up by 2,200. So
My prediction might be true.
Drummond would have to win more than 2,800 votes in those 10,000. So that means he'd have to get 6,000, 7,000 of those. So that's just not happening. Just
Another thing that comes to mind was
Not
Getner's-
happening.
I-
Keith, you don't think it's
I don't
happening?
think, there's just not enough votes.
Mhm.
There's just not enough votes. If you just look on the map and you look at past election results on the precincts that are out. And neither candidate is winning them by a lot. So, I mean, they're just trading them back and forth. 52 here for the next one, you get 48, 52, 48. So there's just not enough votes out there.
I mean, sounds like Keith isn't willing to wait for it anymore. He's ready to call it. And Emily put her jacket on to go
Come pick 'em
down
up.
to a room where it happens and count them up. I mean, they need help down at the election board. She's getting ready to go.
Somebody get Keith another Dr. Pepper. How we doing? Everybody wants to know, is it full? Do we need more ice?
No, we're all good. We're all good.
I want to go back because I think I misspoke on the smelter issue. I know is actually, those precincts are in Rogers County. Yeah, so they're the 2 bottom precincts in Rogers County. Both of those went Drummond pretty handily. But then if you look at Rogers County as a whole and go up the road a little bit, closer to Claremore, Maisie picked up several precincts just, a few miles north of Inola. So interesting to see how those vote totals turned out.
Just at home here in Oklahoma County. So as we're waiting for these Tulsa precincts to come in, Jessica Clayton in the county commissioner race, way ahead of Alex Warren. You can call that. And then Jason Lowe in District 1, way ahead. So both of those county commissioner races are settled for Oklahoma County.
Hey guys, as we continue to pontificate on reasons why Maisie might have won this, was the Attorney General's doubling down on his dislike for Kevin Stitt a factor?
I mean, look, this is a real uneducated hot take. I'll call it right now. I'd say no. I think, the polling that I've kept track of for the last 8 years, Keith and Dalton can probably back me up here or contest me. I don't know. We may have different memories of this. Kevin Stitt had a pretty strong grip on Western Oklahoma for the last, we'll call it 9 years now. And that's where the Attorney General performed. So no, I don't think that was a factor, Brent.
Gotcha. It seemed like he doubled down stronger in the primary runoff section, and given Kevin's still popularity across the state, thought that might be a factor in the race.
Yeah, well, another issue outside of the smelter issue was the poultry lawsuit. Drummond was pushing that lawsuit, continues to push that lawsuit in the AG's office. And then you look at some of these poultry producing counties on the eastern part of the state. Delaware County went Maisie. Adair County went Maisie pretty handily. down in the Sequoia County, went Maisie. So, you'd have to do some polling out there to determine exactly why these folks turned out to vote. But those are poultry producing state or counties. And that was an issue that Drummond brought up in the AG's office.
Interesting. As we come down to the wire, I know the race continues to be close and probably fairly close to declaring a winner, but 97.98% of the precincts reporting with still a 2,100 vote lead for Maisie. If you're interested in the numbers, 50.29% as opposed to 49.71% for Gettner. So,
and in a rarity for election, in a rarity, it looks like unless Oklahoma County speeds up, Tulsa County's only got 7 precincts out. Oklahoma County has 12. Usually Oklahoma County finishes before Tulsa County. So I don't know what's going on. Hopefully that doesn't do that. Moving in the future, but Tulsa County is flipping through here. I don't know. And just got my first text from someone in one of the governor's campaigns, or actually my second one. So we'll let AP do it for us. But I don't think there's enough votes. There's just not enough votes out there to change anything.
Well, I mean, if we want to get ahead, I think we may think this is in hand, but like Keith said, we'll let AP do that for us. Does Cindy Munson face an endless uphill climb in November? Is there daylight? What's the outlook look? What's your gut tell you on August 25th? Way too early, Keith.
It will be interesting to see what like the Republican Governors Association and groups like that do on some of Cindy's votes. I'm sure she had some good ones involving athletic sports or restrooms or bathrooms for girls and boys and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting. I don't know what her votes were on that. We can just assume. Other stuff like that. Is it going to be uphill battle? Probably. Can Cindy raise the money? And will she have a dark money operation behind her? And then on the flip side, how much money is Maisie going to be able to raise, and go from there? So I mean, Club for Growth was a big.
Thank you. I think you hit the nail on the head there, right? Though there's it's an uphill climb for her. There are some outside factors that could contribute, but after a race this close, as we've detailed now all night, somebody's going to emerge victorious and wield the power of being the Republican nominee. With great power comes great responsibility. The first thing I got to do is unite the elected Republicans and Republicans in the state. It's been pretty split. We talked about all the legislators who had endorsed in this race and gotten involved. You got to get everybody in the boat, and then you got to go win the next election. So I mean, there's a couple things to watch in the next few months, I think.
Tulsa County's basically done. It's got 1 precinct left. Adair County's got 1 precinct left, and Oklahoma County's down to 32 precincts. So
What is this 1 precinct in Tulsa? What's that area? Is that Midtown?
back out. Yeah, 'cause that's gonna be just south of I-44. That's I-44, that will right there. So that's gonna be a very small, we can look that up and see what it is.
Dalton, text Dan, tell him to get over there and help those people get the vote, the ballot.
Crack the whip, Dan.
But if you just look at the precincts are next to it, like Drummond won by 4 votes. The one on the other side, Maisie won by 12 votes. The one to the south, I mean, those precincts are, you can just tell by how much space they're taking up. They're gonna be very small precincts. So at the best, Drummond's gonna win that precinct by 20 votes, at the best. And then, so that, if he does that, and then you go over to Oklahoma County and just look. Yeah, when we were at 335, we said 30,000, and we're at 364, 365. So we might go a little bit over that, but there's probably at the most 3,000 votes out, maybe not even that many. We can kind of see here at 1950, we have 364,000, 365. So at the most, there's 3,000, but I wouldn't even be that generous. I'd say it's less than that. And Maisie's ahead by 2,100 votes. There might not even be 2,100 votes out. So
Hey, real quick, shout out to another viewer. You guys were talking about the Capitol, longtime stalwart at the Capitol, longtime friend of the chamber, and host of Carla Shaper-Cutter's favorite podcast, the Flyover Podcast. Randy Swanson watching tonight. We say hi to Randy. So really wanted to make sure that we appreciate his support as we go into the night, awaiting that final word when it comes to the gubernatorial race.
word or social, anything on social from anyone?
Just a few concessions. That's about all I've seen so far, as you'd expect. So it's pretty, like I said, pretty quiet. Nothing from the Drummond or Maisie camp on so far, as you probably expect at this moment in time.
Text don't count.
Yeah.
Luke, are you following? I assume you're following the GOP and Democratic Party accounts. Any chatter there?
Not a lot, Emily.
Any live streams from their party doing the wave? You know.
I think we've got some of our staff doing the wave at home. I know Jake, head of our research foundation, is watching right now. So is Lindsay, the former czarina of events, and has moved into a different role with us at the chamber. So we're excited for her watching. We're excited for her being in that different role with us as well. Leslie Blair watching, a longtime friend of the chamber.
Leslie, I told you to bring the twins up here. It's a party.
The pride of Frederick, Oklahoma, Leslie Blair. A stalwart, a staple at Monday
Hey,
morning.
Adam and Emily, check your phones.
That means
All
something
right.
secret's going on.
Well,
We're ready.
That was just sent to me, so I don't know if that's true or not, but
well, I mean, first, you got a big old cup of ambition there. How are we doing on the Dr. Pepper? I feel like you're the one that wants to tell the group this.
no,
Keith, it's your intel. You share, buddy.
this has to be double confirmed. So we gotta double confirm.
Okay, well, you start working the thumbs.
Another friend of the chamber, Melissa Houston, says howdy. Good job, guys.
I think Keith, I've got another confirmation. I've got some people headed east to
The turnpike is
a
gonna.
congratulatory party.
So I've received now 2 texts that says that Drummond has called Mike Maisy and conceded.
So we're unofficially thinking it's Maisie.
Well, there's only 12 precincts left. And
Want to give a run through of
Maisie's
all
ahead
our
by
winners
2,100
and
votes.
pictures and everything here, guys, as we await that final word.
Keith,
Scott,
what was
let's
that last nugget?
Yeah, let's take a look at some of these winners, and guys, feel free to chime in as you see fit to, but just want to update everyone first with some of these statewide races. Robert Franklin, share of the people that voted for Robert Franklin over James Taylor. Yes, that's my second James Taylor reference on the night. Robert Franklin, the winner there. Insurance Commissioner Bob Sullivan had a clear lead all night long. He seals that deal to be the Republican nominee for Insurance Commissioner. Labor Commissioner, you'll see that Kevin West is your winner there. He moves on to the November general election for Labor Commissioner. We'll shift gears a little bit and go to some of the Senate seats. You see Justin Wood, who we had on with us earlier tonight out of Tecumseh. He is your winner. He will face Ed Bolts, the Democrat, in the general in November. Other races coming your way. You'll see Tyler Herring, winner. He goes on to Meredith McGinnis as an opponent in the general in November, endorsed by the State Chamber of Oklahoma PAC. So Tyler gets that gold seal as well. John Painter, a win over Keys, I believe. And then he moves on to face John Morales, the Democrat, in November. Senate District 26, we talked to the winner and now the senator-to-be from, or senator-elect from District 26. That would be Jessica Weingart. So congratulations to Jessica. Heard from her earlier live on the show. Curtis Irwin, your winner in District 32, goes on to face a 3-way race with an independent candidate there in Pena. Other Senate districts to tell you about, well, that wraps it up for the Senate, but over to the House, we'll go to Chris White, the Republican, winning the runoff there. He goes on to face Reinsdorf in the November general election. Other House districts to pass along, Scotty Stokes, the winner. He goes on to the general in November. More House seats to tell you about. House District 18, David Smith, a winner there as well. The incumbent gets it done and seals up that seat for him, House District 18. More House districts to pass along. Brittingham, the winner in House District 19. That means he will be the new representative from that district. 38, we talked to Madison Bole earlier on the program live, endorsed by the state chamber. He is the winner of the runoff. He will go up against Doyle Lewis, the Democrat, in the general election come November.
Hey, Brent, it looks like Drummond has taken the stage.
Drummond's live.
Oh, nice. All right. So we're thinking that is officially the concession on Drummond's
He's
part.
conceded.
Yeah, it looks like Drummond has taken the stage and conceded at his watch party.
That's it, guys. Mike Mazie is the Republican nominee. So congratulations to Senator Mazie. He'll face off with Minority Leader Cindy Munson in November, which I'm sure will be a busy fall for both.
No doubt. And for those, of course, watching on OK Decides, you can stay on the website right now and go to the statewide candidate page and take a look at our interviews one-on-one. Chad went one-on-one with both Mazie and Cindy Munson. They're posted there. So watch it and really get a feel for how these candidates feel when it comes to the business community, the future of the Oklahoma economy. We dive deep with those two candidates, both Munson and Mazie. So make sure to check that out, and we'll of course update the results of all the races come morning. And like you said, Emily, for those who are in the 2300 club, heads up, your voter guide will be coming your way.
Yep, it will. Give us a few hours in the morning, but you should have it by noon, and you can share with any and all.
Very good.
Are we ready to pull back up our predictions?
Yes, let's the most important numbers of the night. How did the experts fare when trying to prognosticate on some of the important? I just really hope that
You gotta count these counties real fast.
I gotta say, I need the war room to give me some stats here. I'm one man and standing in front of a
Hey,
screen.
they've been
I got an
crunching
army of
those
brains.
numbers for us.
she's in a lavender dress in the back of that war room right there.
She doesn't even have her computer open.
Oh,
Whoa,
boy.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Alton, dude,
Come on
got
now.
look a gift
We
for
can
us.
talk
She already
about what
declared
we
you the
know.
winner.
Is that down here? Emily and Dalton were correct. Keith and I failed.
I don't even think Dalton was correct. State question 846 has 534,000 voters.
I mean, he was correct, and you guys in your state questions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
just the last one down here at the bottom. We'll mark that off because we know
It
the
might
answer.
be 44 counties. I gotta double check how many counties Mazie won. We just gotta double check this.
Way to go, Oklahoma. 534,000 of you rolled out to vote. Now, you didn't vote on every race on the ballot, so that's okay. You probably couldn't, not all of you, but
Wow.
way to
We
go.
all undershot. Good job, except Keith, because he gets to fudge his math if he wants to.
40.
And give us a number.
Well, in that county number, now if it's 44 indeed, that means Keith's closest.
Now, we were just told, the official person said 40, so we just got to, yeah.
So that means Dalton's closest then, and he didn't go over. So if you're
Closest
playing-
without going over, as we know, the price
Yes.
is right. For going forward.
Price is Right rules.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we're gonna go ahead and give that for him. It looks like he might emerge victorious. Do we have a first place vote getter count from June?
That feels like a tomorrow number. I don't want to count right now.
All right, not that it
I
matters.
was told there'd be no
We're
arithmetic
down
in
to
tonight's
one
program.
precinct.
I could probably get it real quick here. One 1, 2, 3, 4,
One
5,
precinct.
6, 7, 8. 8 is the number. Emily hit it on the dot.
Dang. That means
Right.
Emily and Dalton both have 2 wins.
Neck and neck, Dalton. Watch out. I'm coming for you. Are we winning like a jeans day for this or something? Like, are we getting something really juicy, like snow cones in the office on Friday?
You can have a Diet Coke out of the fridge in the other room there if you guys want.
You know, it's either that or it's going to be the red dye. We'll see.
I think it's a Little
you're
Caesars
just doing
pizza
it. This
party,
is for
right?
the love of the game right here. That's all it is. I think that's it, right? We got
All
a
right.
turnout number that was a lot higher than what any of us predicted. So there we are. Dalton and Emily kind of the tie. Dalton's got a little more people turned out. I probably got to declare Dalton the winner.
Oh, you got my numbers transposed on my total turnout. Mine was
Oh.
532.
Oh, yeah, this is Dalton Miller wins a fake chicken dinner.
Yes.
Winner.
All
It's under
right.
protest, though. It's under protest.
Well, I'd
Yeah,
like to.
Emily's already filed papers for a recount. We're gonna have to handle this later.
All right, we'll put the victory lap in for Dalton. I love the checkered flag there at the end as well. So, guys, great job. I think we've got all the races wrapped up now, and it is probably time to say sayonara for this edition of Election Night Live. Of course, the primary runoff edition. Any final thoughts?
Congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations to everybody with the guts to put your name on the ballot. Go keep running hard.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back
Yeah.
here November 5th, 7th, 5th, 7th,
Third.
3rd for the general election. And of course, we'll have another cram-packed show with live guests and breakdown of all the important races. We appreciate you joining us, whether it be on OK Decides or Facebook Live. Thanks for being a part of the fun tonight, and we will see you in November, everyone.
Good night, BB.